All right, we are live streaming right now. We're going to try to provide you guys with some tornado coverage. Tornado watches have been issued for really most of the counties east of Highway 65. We'll pull up the map on that really quickly, but Jamie, give me your initial thoughts. What's happening? I know that cold front just moved through Springfield, so not really concerned about tornadoes for us. It's areas to the east.
I think that's an important point to make is that the severe weather threat has once the front goes through, the severe weather threat's over with. And here in Springfield, the front is already through. If you live in Billings, down toward Aurora, Monette, up to Bolivar, even into Ozark, I think the front is through there. The severe weather threat's over in those spots. And we've seen a dramatic shift in temperatures. I think we got up to about 67 just ahead of the front. And then immediately within, I would say probably 15, 20 minutes, you lose about 10 degrees. It quickly drops back into the upper 50s, and later today will be in the upper 30s. But ahead of this front, there is some warm air nosing north just ahead of the frontal boundary. So there's a narrow window as that front is moving through areas east of Highway 65 for severe weather development. And we have had a handful of severe thunderstorm warned storms over the last hour. Right now we have one located in Stone County moving into northwestern Taney.
Yeah, I'll pull up that radar. First, I want to get kind of the tornado watch, talk about the areas that are under the watch. Really quickly, I put up an article about that. I think it's 52 counties. Greene County is not in that. It's areas that haven't pushed this front through. If you've already seen the rain, if you've already seen the thunder, you're good for today. It's areas still along. So Christian County, Stone, Taney, Ozark, Douglas, Wright, Webster, Texas, Howell, Oregon. I'm trying to rattle off as many as I can there. So mostly counties off and to the east still have that risk of that tornado threat. And well, this is how it looks on radar.
And it's one of those days where the watch gets issued and it's immediately going to get whittled away from the west. We're going to quickly see the severe weather threat in from west to east. In our area, and when we talk about our area, we mean our television viewing area. That is as far east as a little east of Highway 63. This includes Dent County, Shannon County, Oregon County, Fulton County. That's kind of the eastern edge of our viewing area. It looks like the front is going to clear those communities maybe around or shortly after 5 o'clock this afternoon. So we're really only looking at a few more hours of severe weather threat, and then it's done.
This is how it looks on radar. Mega 1, severe thunderstorm warning. That's in the Branson area. I've been getting reports of maybe up to quarter-size hail. I know in Barry County there was reports of pea-size hail. So that's the most intense area. We can kind of really dig into that. And looks like that hail core is just to the north of Branson, just to the north of Hollister. Going to move really across the lake, further into the east, and clip parts of southern Christian County. So I guess eventually Saddlebrook, I think that's the area that kind of the stronger hail core.
Yeah, and with that storm, also watching, there is a broad circulation with that storm, and that is between Branson West and Merriam Woods, quickly approaching Highway 65. That storm itself is moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. So, these are going to be fast-moving storms this afternoon. So with that, it's going to be one of those days where, if a warning comes out, you're probably going to have to act pretty quickly because there's not going to be a whole lot of lead time with these storms moving as fast as they are. There's one other cell that's in kind of southeast Greene County, northern Christian County, kind of right there on the county line north of Ozark and Sparta. That would probably put it pretty close to Rogersville. There's, maybe a broad circulation in that spot too. That would be very close to the Rogersville area. That too is moving. It's not warned. But that's going to be a feature that we watch, and that's kind of what's going to happen. Looks like we're going to have this narrow line of showers and thunderstorms that will gradually intensify. Right now we're kind of looking at the beginning of this, and as this line continues east, it will intensify, and we'll probably see some shallow circulations that may show up in a couple of scans, and then they go away. Because these circulations are going to get quickly, I think, undercut by this very strong cold front that's coming in from the west.
While you're talking, I do want to pull up some different cameras that we have. We're going to go to our camera shot over in Ozark at the baseball stadium there, and it looked really good about half hour ago. Now it's not as impressive, but a half hour ago you could see the front coming in, and I was talking to you earlier. I was like, Jamie, it's raining sideways on this camera. Once I get that to load up, we'll go to it. But it's a very quick switch where the skies will very quickly get dark. You'll feel the cold. You'll feel the winds that start to pick up ahead of this cold front. Winds are about 10 to 15 miles per hour. On the backside of it, winds, we've been getting reports of over 40 miles per hour. So there's that drastic change. This is how it kind of looks on Ozark, that they're on the backside of this cold front. Rain has already started to slow down there. It was pouring pretty well, and most of that has wrapped up. And the tower camera, look at that kind of Missouri flag. I'll see if I can zoom in on that.
Well,
We're looking just about the 357.
Look at the contrast between the green of the field and the dark sky. Again, that's not right now. That was, what do you think, about 45 minutes ago? 30 to 45?
When the front moved in?
Yeah, through Ozark right there.
Yeah, about a half hour.
Yeah. And, you know, I saw that too. When I was coming in, my wife was taking her granddaughter back to her dad. And so when they were leaving, I was like, there's the front right there. You could see, I mean, like you said, I mean, the skies got real dark. That was right along the cold front. There really wasn't much wind. And then as I was driving in, the cold front caught up to me, and you could see at that point, like once, I don't even want to call it a shelf cloud, but it is a lowering of the clouds, dark. And once that got overhead, those winds jacked up out of the west, and saw some rain. Really, the rain wasn't very heavy, at least what I saw coming in, and that was about 1:30 this afternoon. You know, looking at things now, you can see how that cold front now extends, from the Jeff City area down through Lebanon, down to Berryville, Arkansas. It's not yet into the Harrison, Arkansas area, but it will be shortly. And as the front's coming in, you know, it's going to be one of those days where a lot of spots it really may not seem that bad. You'll get some, you know, maybe a brief downpour, maybe hear a rumble or two of thunder, and then the winds pick up and it turns sharply colder. And then that's it. But there could be a few cells in this line, especially I think once that line gets east of Highway 63. So maybe an hour or so from now. Once it starts to get east of Highway 63, that's going to give this line some time to mature. Because if you keep in mind, if you've been watching radar throughout the morning into the afternoon, there really was not much on the line till about noon today, and that's when the showers started to show up. And now we've got a decent line of showers and embedded thunderstorms on the line. And again, that's what we're going to be watching over the next couple of hours.
You keep talking about that line, and I think this image shows it off really well. This was taken roughly Lebanon. I think the person that took it, let me get the credit to them, Mike, sent this in, emergency manager over in Laclede County, just south of Lebanon. You can see that kind of line, that cold front that's starting to march in. He mentioned he noticed that switch where it was calm before, cold front moves in, skies get dark, rain comes in, temperatures really start to decrease as well. And we're tracking along that line, along that cold front for a place that a tornado is going to try to spin up. I don't think this is going to be a massive tornado because really where all those showers are, it's on a very fine, narrow line where that cold air is just smacking right into this warm air mass. That's going to try to stir up some thunderstorms. We've seen that over in Branson. We've seen those hail cores. Mm-hmm. So that's the area that we're going to continue to watch as this progresses on. I don't think this is going to be a massive tornado outbreak or anything like that. It's just an opportunity to get something spin up as we push out this cold front.
And I know you were working on this before we got on. I don't know if you're able to access the image that I have on my computer, but maybe you can check. Maybe you can pull up.
No, I can't. No. That's not working today.
No, maybe you can show this. But looking at where the thunderstorm activity is, okay, so this is very important when you're looking at, hey, is there going to be a tornado out of the storm or not? One of the things that you look for is the placement of the thunderstorm relative to the outflow or where the cold front is. And there's one heavy thunderstorm that it is severe warned. This one is in northwestern Taney County. It is clearly on the back side of the cold front there. The cold front is probably, and I can measure this out, I'm going to guess based on what I see here, the cold front is 10 miles east of where the core of this storm is.
So you're saying the front's right around, getting a little wobbly. The front is ahead of where all the thunderstorms are firing up. So that means less fuel, less energy for the thunderstorms.
So what happens is this cold front being as strong as it is and as fast moving as it is, it's quickly undercutting the thunderstorms. So, and can you, like in a situation like that, typically you would look for maybe some hail, but it makes it increasingly hard when the storm is undercut by the cold air coming in with a cold front. It makes it increasingly hard for you to get any circulation that does happen to show up down to the surface. So, like, if I was watching this storm northwest of Forsyth, and we are, If I was to see a circulation associated with it, and I don't right now, but if it was associated with it near where the core of the storm is, near Highway 65, I wouldn't be too concerned about tornado potential because it is undercut right now by that cold front. That cold front actually, when you look at radar, it's basically right along the very leading edge of that band of showers. It's not located further west. It's right. The front's already through Lebanon. Looks like it's already moved through Falcon in Laclede County. It's set to move through Waynesville here in minutes. It looks like it's moving through Seymour right now, and then it stretches down to. It's already moved through Forsyth. It's already moved through Branson and Hollister. It's already moved through Berryville. Looks like it's not quite to Alpena in Arkansas, and it's still west of Harrison. But it's moving very, very quickly, and so. We're going to be looking for this thing to keep chugging along, and the severe weather threat. I can say, and I don't have the tornado watch in front of me, but I can say that
here, let me get that for you.
The severe weather threat quickly ends once the cold front is through your area. You feel that temperature drop. The tornado threat is over, and so for communities like
I would say. If you're in Nixa, you're fine. If
so,
you're in Rogersville, you're fine. If you're in Marshfield, the worst it's going to get all day is right now.
Yeah, if I was the guy trimming out counties right now, I'd go ahead and trim out Miller, Camden, Laclede, Webster. Looks like it's just cleared Christian County. It's cleared Stone County, Carroll County, and it looks like it's about to clear Boone and Newton County. So that's what we were saying earlier. Is the speed of this front? It's generating. There's just a very narrow window of severe weather this afternoon, and it will close very quickly. And we're going to see that tornado watch get trimmed away from west to east very quickly as that cold front races east.
Gloria is asking about Callaway County. That's up by Columbia. And you know what? I have not looked up that far. Let's take the radar.
In Columbia, it looks like the front's already through Columbia.
Yeah, it looks like the worst. I don't know exactly where you are in Callaway County, but I mean, the worst of it's already passed through Fulton. Looks like the worst of it has already moved through Callaway County. So,
I'm going to pull up St. Louis radar. Yeah, I mean, the front has definitely moved east of Columbia. It's moved east of Fulton. It's moved east of Jeff City. So it has cleared those areas.
Yeah,
just based on what I see on the
guys. If you have questions about the setup, go ahead and ask it. I'll try to put your comment on screen. Dee's asking about Greene County, and the worst of Greene County has moved in. Now we just have the fast gusty winds are going to be on the backside of this, and then maybe there's still some chances that we may see some snow flurries. So the cold front has moved in. It's decreasing these temperatures. If there's any moisture left out of this front, once we get below 32, that's not going to be rain. That's going to be opportunities for snow. So not expecting a whole lot of snow. It's a chance for you to see some snowflakes for tonight. But the worst of it has moved past Greene County. I don't think we're going to see a tornado in Springfield or Willard or Republic or Ozark or Nixa.
Matt, at the airport right now, I'm going to check the latest observation. But
let's see how quickly
at the airport right now, come on, internets. We are down. Well, we're down to 48 degrees. 48.
So that is 15 degrees in 1 hour?
Yeah. So at the front went through. The front went through just after 1:10 this afternoon at the airport.
Okay.
It was 66 degrees.
So we went from 66.
Yes. And by 2:10 this afternoon, it was 52 degrees. So it had dropped almost 15 degrees in an hour, and we're now down to 48 degrees. Winds are. I really wanted to check the winds because the winds are still breezy. The highest gusts at the airport so far that I can see, we had a 37 mile per hour gust, and that was shortly after the front went through. Since then, we've had some gusts 25 to 35 miles per hour.
Sky wanted to know about Taney County, and Taney County is one of the areas that's kind of getting active right now. You have that severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, the front
just north of in northern Taney County, just moving out of Stone County, the southern portion of Christian County. So if there's anywhere where it's bad right now, Taney County is the worst of it, and it doesn't look tornadic.
No.
And as I say that, I do want to flip it over to
the
Velocity.
front, and I can say the front,
the
Branson Airport down there, south of Branson, the Branson Airport, the front's already through. The front is moving through Mincy right now. Kissy Mills, it's already through there. It's already east of Taneyville. The front is just about to Bradleyville. In fact, it looks like in the last scan, it looks like the front is now to Bradleyville and Taney County. So, it's basically, it's already moved through half of Taney County.
Someone's mentioning thunder in Branson. Guys, let us know if you see hail, if you see fast winds, if you see anything damaged, if you see tree branches down, anything like that. Because if you guys, I was talking to the National Weather Service, if you guys start reporting hail or damages, they want me to immediately send that to them so they can kind of help verify things. So this is a great way for us to get information, for the National Weather Service to get information as too. Michael's saying 46 degrees in Lebanon, so they're sharing with that very quickly cool down where temperatures are just starting. It's like the rug's getting pulled out from under us.
Yeah.
We went from sunny and 70 to we're talking about maybe some snowflakes tonight.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, this is one of those dramatic shifts that you get sometimes in the springtime where, we had spring weather. 67 on Friday, 76 yesterday. Today, I think officially the high is going to be 67 degrees. That was an early afternoon high, and now we're down in the upper 40s. And then tomorrow, it's going to be a struggle to get above freezing after morning lows in the upper teens.
Yeah, I think I was forecasting like 34, 35 for tomorrow.
That's pretty miserable after the warm weather that we've had. It breaks my heart to see everything blooming so strongly already. I mean, it really does break my heart. There's certain flowers that might be able to make it through this cold that we're going to have. But even I think like even the real hardy ones like daffodils, I think they're going to get burned out of this. But absolutely, like the Japanese magnolias, those are going to get all those flowers are gone. They will be. I mean, it'll recharge, but it'll take a couple of weeks for them to come back. And then there are other things like hyacinth. I know I sound.
I'm just letting you go. I'm just letting you go. What about the Japanese maple, Jamie?
Well, there are Japanese maples in my yard that are trying to leaf out. And, anything that's still got a tight bud on it, it's going to be fine. It's when it starts to really bud out and it looks like it's getting ready to leaf out, those may get damaged by this freeze. This is a killing freeze. This isn't one of those where,
as you're talking, I got a perfect graphic for this. We're not just talking about, it's going to be getting cold. We're chasing record lows tonight. And the record was set. You have a guess, Jamie, when the record was set that we're going to be hunting after? I don't know if you got a chance to look at this.
Golly, we're looking at about 17, right, for the low?
Yeah, I think I was saying 16, 17. The record goes back. Look at this, Jamie. The record goes back to 1895 from the 19th century when Grover Cleveland was the president. That's how cold we're talking tonight. Maybe we get 17 degrees and we don't hit it, but we're chasing records that are that old from the 19th century.
That's ugly.
Peggy Sue saying our weather's bipolar. Kelsey mentioned spring and winter are fighting for custody of us again, and well, I think winter's going to have us for a couple days, and then spring's getting us back.
Winter's getting a weekend visit.
Getting a weekend visit.
What's crazy about this too, Matt, is that it's not just the degree of the drop with the cold front today and then the cold that we're going to find on Monday. It's the bounce back. I mean, by Thursday, we're up around 80 degrees. And then we're looking at 80s.
Continuously.
Not near 80. We're looking at 80s for highs Friday, Saturday, going into this upcoming weekend. So, I mean, when you say bipolar, I mean, it is. You're going from one end of the extreme to the other.
It's just...
Call them spring swings. I mean, that's what we've got.
I mean, I was at that St. Patrick's Day parade yesterday, sunny and 70, and I had someone yell, "When's winter going to come back?" And I told them,
"Why do you want
tomorrow.
it to?"
It comes back Sunday.
But then it's like, why do you want it to?
Yeah. Still, we got that severe thunderstorm warning. Also, wanted to show this off on radar. Snowing in Iowa, snowing in Kansas.
Blizzard warnings.
Blizzard warnings.
Yeah, in the Sioux City area.
So temperatures are quickly getting below 32 in Kansas. They just experienced that cold front hours before us. They're seeing some snow. That moisture is going to move in, try to produce some snow for us. I don't think it's enough that schools are going to get canceled unless some superintendents really don't want to go to school on Monday. I do want to check the National Weather Service real quick. Getting reports of pea-sized hail. Getting a shout out from the mom, Kathy, Jamie's mom, Kathy, wants to say hello to Matt and Jamie. Getting rain and thunder in Crocker. Haven't heard anyone mention hail. If you guys are seeing any hail, that's something that I really need to know.
Except for the pea-size hail that you had a report of, 160 and 65.
Yeah.
So right there on 65, just north of Branson.
Here we go. Skywarn spotter reports hail, some larger than pea size. Yeah, 160 and 65 intersection north of Branson. So that was with that core moving across Cannon County.
For me, that's like that's just a spring storm. I mean, you know, how many times do we get like pea-sized hail and spring thunderstorms around here? It's pretty amazing. Honestly, there's not a year that's going to go by, I don't think, where you don't get at least some small hail around here.
Branson Fire saying they had hail west of Branson. This was probably 20 minutes ago. So that core has moved. I'm not still expecting it to be hailing in Branson West. So if you guys are seeing hail, if you're seeing damages, if you're seeing crazy weather, comment about that. But still don't want to lose sight. We still have tornado chances. I know it's quiet right now. We're just lost our severe thunderstorm warning. So that was taken down by the National Weather Service.
I'm kind of wondering, so we don't have, and that's good news right now. No warnings in our area. We are still looking at a tornado watch for areas along and east of this line. Looks like the front has just moved through Waynesville. Looks like it stretches up toward the Vienna area. So it looks like it's the front is now along the line from Vienna to Waynesville, just west of Hartville, just west of Mansfield, down to Cedar Creek, just west of Cedar Creek. And then you get down into Arkansas. It's moved through Omaha, and so it's still west of Harrison, but it's now east of the Alpena area. So I mean, it'll be in Harrison next 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so.
I'm going to switch to a tower camera shot of rain over in Ozark, and I'm not seeing lightning. I'm not seeing hail. What I'm not picturing is probably the fast winds. If you look at that tree and kind of the bottom right, that's starting to shake back and forth a little bit. So you can tell the winds are picking up in Ozark, but nothing looks extreme at this time, which is good.
Yeah, I'm just going to check the airport again.
Get another mention. Wind picking up in Branson with rain.
47 at the airport here in Springfield. Gusts to 40.
So we are getting. Did you say 67, and now we're at 47? So that's a 20-degree drop.
Yeah, say 1:10 this afternoon, we were at about 67. An hour and a half later, we're 20 degrees colder at 47. Still getting some pretty gusty winds, too. Like here in the last few reports, wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour out at the airport. So windy and turning sharply colder.
All right, look at this, Jamie. There's your 47 degrees in Springfield that you just reported.
Yeah.
63 in Branson, almost 70 in Harrison, 65 in Ava, West Plains is 64. So we're still saying if there's going to be a tornado, I think it's going to be in South Central Missouri, North Central Arkansas. I think it's going to be in West Plains. It's going to be in the Mountain Home. It's going to be maybe not the Harrison area because we're not seeing anything tornadic at that time. But it's areas that still have the temperatures into the 60s. That's the place that will have that chance to see a little bit of a spin up to see.
Yeah, and realistically, I mean, we were kind of the areas that we were like most concerned about were areas near and east of Highway 63 because the line of storms is quickly developing, but it has to have time to mature as it moves east through the area. Say you got a storm that's developing, it's probably not going to produce anything right at the beginning of its development. Sometimes these storms take a little bit of time to gradually organize, and I think with today's setup, it's not individual thunderstorms. It's going to be these little line segments or these little surges that we're probably going to see that kind of move up the line from southwest to northeast. And within those surges, that's where we're probably going to have the greatest chance at some stronger wind gusts and maybe some embedded circulations, some brief circulations that show up on radar.
Andrea's mentioning she got a couple lightning strikes in Branson. Just sprinkling now, light wind. Things are starting to die down in that area, which makes me curious. I want to switch over and kind of get our lightning counter because we've had, I think last Friday, that was kind of that last time that we were really getting active where the weather was really starting to produce. And That was producing about 500 lightning strikes in 10 minutes. So keep that at a benchmark. And when you compare that to what's happening now, a whole lot less.
Yeah.
It's about 150 in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, there has been a gradual uptick, though, in the amount of lightning. And that's also a reflection of things just gradually organizing along this cold front. A lot of what you see, though, on radar is behind the front. Because that cold air, if you think of it, it's like a bulldozer. And it's shoving this air mass up and over that cold layer of air coming in at the surface, and then that helps to generate additional shower and thunderstorm activity. But those storms are more likely than not going to produce any severe weather, and if they do, it's going to be probably some hail. And we haven't seen much of that so far today.
A lot of people typing in reports of hail. Brenda was saying thunder and lightning in Waynesville. Jamie saying they're getting that thunder in St. Roberts. Let's see what else we have. Marty mentioning they got a friend 60 miles from OKC, and the wind gusts are 40 to 50 miles per hour. He's in an 18-wheeler. That's a bad day to be trucking.
Yeah, you feel the wobble.
That's a bad day to be trucking.
You get that crosswind. St. Robert, looks like the front is crossing through St. Robert right now. So the rain is really kind of just started to pick up in St. Robert. Probably looks pretty dark outside. As you said, some thunder and lightning. And rain's going to come down pretty good over the next, I would say, half hour, 45 minutes. Winds are going to get gusty, too. And temperatures should be dropping now in St. Robert.
I know people were watching earlier from Wright County. Looks like kind of this leading edge of thunderstorms getting out of Webster County, getting into Wright County, getting into parts of Douglas County, eventually Ozark County. Nothing severe at this time, which is good. I think we've had about there's been 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. So nothing severe right now. National Weather Service is watching it. We still got to push this line through. And thankfully, this line is pushing through quickly. We have done some severe weather days, Jamie, where me and you, we have been waiting for a line of storms to push through. We've been waiting for a cold front to get out of the area, and some of them have taken 10 hours.
Yeah.
This one is
this is
blowing by.
Yeah, this is going to sweep on through the area. Just a quick update on the front itself. Looks like it is moving through places like Hartville right now. I bring up Hartville because it looks like there is a small circulation there just to the south of Hartville on the maybe the south end of town, kind of on Highway 5 running south out of Hartville. There's a little bitty circulation right there that's come in the last scan. That does not mean that there's a tornado.
Yeah,
it's just something that we're going to watch and see if that happens to intensify a little bit more. One other little pocket of
just south of Hartville.
One other little circulation that is kind of showing up is to the southwest of Ava. If I had to put it close, it looks like it's north of 76, just west-southwest of Ava. Maybe a small, weak circulation.
Trying to nose out.
Yeah, but these are things that are going to probably be very transient this afternoon. They kind of show up and then they go away. And what we're going to look for is, to see if they can persist a scan or two and if they intensify. But yeah, those are going to be the features that we watch for. This is well covered. There is a tornado watch out for these areas along and east of where this line of storms is moving across southern Missouri and northern Arkansas right now. So this is the type of stuff we're going to be watching for.
Patrick's watching the live stream. I feel like Patrick, every single time we do a live stream, he always watches and gives really good weather comments on that. Krista, also with a good question. Is there a break between these storms? Raining pretty hard in Springfield. Skies got dark now. They are clearing out. Need to know from Springfield to Branson, is there a break anytime soon? And yeah, I mean, expecting rain to be done pretty quickly in Springfield. Branson, it's also picking up now. We have not done an hour-by-hour forecast of this, and I think now's a good time to do this. I'll start pulling that up on the other end. But in Springfield, the worst of it is kind of what we've already seen. It's moving out. Things are really going to start to quiet down. So let me get this model pulled up for you guys.
For folks watching down in Harrison, the front is knocking on the door. Looks like that front is now located. Let's see here. I'd put it west of Harrison, northwest of Harrison, a couple of miles. And so, in fact, here in the last scan, Looks like that front is right there. It's moving. It should be moving through Harrison right now. So Harrison residents, rain coming in, maybe some thunder and lightning, gusty winds, and turning sharply colder.
Okay, wanted to show this. This is that hour-by-hour forecast. Not exactly lining up. I think, if anything, it's wanting to push this cold front faster than what's actually happening, but you get a good idea of where those showers and thunderstorms are, and the line moves out, and once that line gets through, you're pretty much done. What you are seeing, this is Sunday, 6 p.m., that is some snowflakes that's being generated on Futurecast. If there's any moisture left over on the backside of this front, if we can't clear out those clouds, if there's still some moisture that lingers, temperatures are going to continue to decrease. In Springfield, we've lost 20 degrees in less than 2 hours. That's going to get us well below freezing pretty soon. That's going to be an opportunity for some snowflakes. I think areas north of I-44, better chance to see the snow than if you're watching from south of Highway 60. So people in Branson, not expecting too much in snow. If you're watching from Lake of the Ozarks, better chance that you'll pick up some on that. And then we're done. Not seeing a decent rain chance for about the next week. There may be an opportunity. Some models are saying maybe on Friday, but I'm not really buying that. So I think this is our best chance for the week.
It looks like the pattern really shuts down, like this active pattern that we've been in since the beginning of March. I mean, if you think about this, this is the fourth round of active weather to come across our area. Now, thankfully, we haven't had a lot of severe weather out of any of these rounds. But this is the fourth round of severe weather potential, and we're only 2 weeks into the month of March. So it has been a busy first half of the month. It does look like things are going to quiet down. I really don't see a whole lot of severe weather potential after this, and I don't expect a lot out of this, but after this until maybe during the last week of the month. Looks like we may see the pattern start to reload at that point. Until then, I really don't expect any severe weather chance, and I don't expect much rainfall.
Morgan asking about Wright County, and we'll go into this again. I don't know if you're here for this. We are looking things are picking up in Hartville. I don't know exactly where you are in Wright County. There is, we looked just a couple minutes ago, and there was signs of a weak circulation.
It's still there.
It is.
It's now east of Hartville.
So this is that weak circulation just to the southeast of Hartville. This is nothing that screams, oh my gosh, there's a tornado, but it's what we're monitoring. If this gets stronger, that may get tornado warned, but very weak circulation in Hartville. I want to look over in Ava.
There's another one southwest of Ava.
Yeah, still seeing that weak circulation in Ava too, but none of this screams severe. None of this screams tornadic. It could be the start of something, but
well, and I think too, like we were talking about earlier, these circulations are just by their nature, they tend to be transient. Like they come and they go pretty quickly. But I also think that there's going to be a tendency throughout the rest of this afternoon as we watch these storms for the cold air coming in with that cold front to quickly undercut these circulations that might be attached to an updraft aloft. So.
Our news director is rejoicing hearing your comment, Hudson. I'm about to move to Roku City because of the weather. I thought you were talking about the here. I know Jamie is talking about this. The Roku app, because a lot of our coverage is on Roku. We're not on Roku right now. We've had some technical difficulties. It's a Sunday. I was trying to figure it out before, ran into problems, and said, you know what, let's just get on Facebook. We can get your comments that way. So we're not going to be on Roku right now. In the future, we should be. We just ran into some hiccups for today.
It's think of it as like it's a new science, and we're still working out the kinks.
Yeah.
But it will become more of a regular thing as we move forward into the future.
We really like this format of being able to talk to people. People can ask questions directly. You know, we had someone asking a question about Callaway County to the east of Columbia, and it's like, yeah, we can talk about that now because we have viewers from there. So we like answering you guys' questions. Gives us more time to talk about weather. Something I hate about the job is, you know, a lot of times we'll get 3 minutes to talk about weather in the middle of a newscast and we can't go a second over. And so there's things that we have to cut out, things that we can't really go in depth. And a lot of times severe weather happens when there's not during a newscast. So
quickly, Matt, let's go over, let's talk about where the severe weather threat is. Because, I mean, it's going to be one of those days where it quickly comes to an end. So if you are watching from Vienna and Waynesville, south to Hartville, west of Ava, down to Harrison, Arkansas, just getting into Jasper. Looks like the tornado threat is over with for areas along and west of that line. The cold front, again, stretches from just west of Rolla at about Doolittle. So it looks like it's moving into Doolittle right now. Stretches, it looks like it's now across Fort Leonard Wood to Plato, east to Hartville, between Mansfield and Norwood. And the cold front stretches down through. It looks like it's very close to, if not just east of Ava. Looks like it's east of Smollett, and it looks like it is Pro-Tem. It's moving in through Pro-Tem right now. It's moving across Diamond City right now. Looks like it is moving through Bergman right now.
Look at that severe thunderstorm warning.
Oh,
Severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service. Hail may be pea-sized with this warning. Winds 60 miles per hour. That is a gigantic polygon.
no tornado possible tag on it, though.
No tornado possible. Oh, yes, there is.
There is? Okay.
There is a tornado possible tag.
Okay.
So the National Weather Service, kind of similar to what we're saying, where they're seeing weak circulations here and there. None of
Yeah.
it looks tornadic right now, but they want to keep saying, guys, get just in case, because all it takes is it could very quickly tighten up, and we're looking at a brief spin-up tornado. We're not looking at a long-track tornado that's going to just level a neighborhood. We're looking at a very quick, isolated, brief spin-up tornado along this line. So National Weather Service issued that severe thunderstorm warning. And it's the area that you were talking about, Jamie, is if you're on the backside of that line, you're done. You could still get some rain and thunder, but generally you're done. I think here in Springfield, most of it is wrapped up. We may get another very light wave of light rain that comes in about 10, 15 minutes, but anything beyond that doesn't look too intense for us.
And you know what's that's about as big of a severe thunderstorm warning as you're going to see. I think I've seen a little bit bigger than that, but that's like one of those catch-alls. It's like we're going to go ahead and warn this whole thing well out in advance. The warning runs through 3:45, so roughly, it ends roughly 45 minutes from now. And look how much real estate that line will cover in the next 45 minutes. I mean, it should be moving east to Highway 63, at least in that part of Highway 63, within 45 minutes or so from now. So this is a very fast-moving line of thunderstorms.
Someone reporting pea-sized hail in Springfield off Battlefield and Campbell. If anyone else is in Springfield and reporting seeing pea-sized hail, let me know on that. Andrea wondering about the tornado watch in Taney County. The answer is technically 8 p.m., but
it ain't going to go till 8.
It's not going to go till 8.
No,
so.
the cold front is already, it hasn't quite cleared southeast Taney County, but it's real close. The tornado threat is over with in places like Forsyth and Branson and Merriam Woods back toward Galena. So, I can safely say that. For folks that are wondering, well, it runs through 8. It's the threat doesn't run through 8 in Taney County. It's just when they issue a watch, it's for a broad area, and the watch or the severe weather threat will end faster in some areas than it does in other areas, depending on the speed of the line and the direction that the line is moving.
Ash is wondering, is Hollister and Branson in the clear? Yes, that's what Jamie just kind of just answered there. Tammy's wondering, when is the storm going to stop in Springfield? The worst of it is done in Springfield. May see a little bit more light rain over the next 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but
it looks like
I think the bulk of that is done. Temperatures really starting to decrease.
Like
we're at 46 now.
That heavy rain, and if somebody saw some pea-sized hail with that core coming out of Springfield, it is now east and northeast of Springfield. Looks like that's moving through the Stratford area right now.
Let me pass on cold winds in West Plains. So they're getting the winds ahead of the front. Katie is. I do want to pass on the person that said pea-sized hail to the National Weather Service. I got in trouble, Jamie, because my contact at the National Weather Service said, you're hearing a lot of hail reports and you're not passing it on to us. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'll change that, okay? Getting into trouble. So also looking at power outages. About 2,300 people in Missouri without power. Let me go to the old website. That's this button.
It's 46 out of the airport right now. Still getting guests up to 40 miles per hour. 46 degrees.
400 people without power in Benton County. 240 people without power in McDonald County. Not hearing anyone. Oh, 84 without power in Greene County. So very spotty on these power outages. Ashley saying just starting in Ava. That makes sense where that kind of line of those storms are. And Katie saying, I'm so done with this weather. It only gets worse. Tomorrow's going to be cold and miserable. And it's going to feel like 17 degrees outside.
Yeah,
so,
you know, the only saving grace to cold weather in the springtime keeps the storms away.
yeah.
Or at least keeps a lot of the storms away.
Hold on,
You can still get hail.
let me pass on these reports to the National Weather Service. I don't want to get in trouble. Jamie,
I don't
put
want
the
you to
camera
get in
on you.
trouble. Okay.
Let me message the wonderful people at the National Weather Service real quick.
Yeah. So right now, if you want to, we could pull up radar. We'll go over radar.
Yeah. You want Omega or what do you want?
I mean,
want Max
you're
1?
kind of running it, so yeah. You just.
I'll give you the old Max 1 radar.
I wonder if I'm on Max 1. Hold up. Yeah, I am. Okay. Yeah.
Camera's on me for a second.
There you go.
Let me see if I can take off my ugly mug and put on you.
Yeah. I just look old and tired.
You're excited to be here, Chief.
No,
There
I
you
know.
are.
I'm happy to be here.
Another severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible.
Is that for Arkansas?
Oh my gosh. That's for,
Yeah, for that
right
just-
along the state line.
they were like, oh, we left some areas out. We're going to go ahead and fill that in. Yeah, so that basically now covers areas all the way down to the state line. And folks may be wondering, well, why not south of the state line? Well, that's a completely different National Weather Service office. That is the Little Rock office's responsibility. So I did check their chat, and I didn't see anything that said that they were going to be issuing a warning for that line in northern Arkansas. But the hazards that we find north of the state line are generally going to be the same hazards that we find south of the state line with the line as it moves through. Matt has radar pulled up, and I think I can access that. Yeah, I can. And what I wanted to do is, we have our severe weather threat, but man, it's real hard to see when it's very small. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at hail here. This is a really cool product, and I'll give Matt some props on this. He made that nice little legend right there. We changed up the color table. What we're looking at is to see whether or not we can see any distinct pockets of hail, because that is one thing that we have had some reports of is generally pea-sized. But as I run down this warning, I don't see anything jumping out. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not hail. Oh, there's a little pocket right there. That is in Arkansas. That is southwest of Harrison. So that might be an area southwest of Harrison near the Compton area where we could be getting something a little larger than pea size, maybe something approaching, let's say, dime size. But that is the only pocket that I see.
Okay. Got my comments sent off, Jamie. Real quick, want to do a kind of a preview on some of these cameras.
Okay.
This is over in Beaver Lake, northern Arkansas. Starting to see the rain pick up. Really look at the water. If you're looking at the water at the bottom of the screen, you can see how quickly the rain is starting to come down there. That is one place. And another place is we have Angie mentioned, hey, they got pea-sized hail in Ozark. She's mentioning, well, we're getting more hail in Ozark as well. So,
you know what may be making this
let's go over
especially,
to our Ozark
Matt,
camera.
one reason why we may be seeing a lot of pea-sized hail is the freezing level is probably coming down. Now that the cold front is through, some of these showers, thunderstorms on the back side of that cold front that are kind of deeper into the colder air mass that's coming in behind the front, it gets easier for the hail to develop and make it all the way down to the surface. So that may be why we're seeing some of these pockets of pea-sized hail.
Yeah, things picking up back in Ozark again. Let me go on back to this product over here. I wanted to show off what you were showing off earlier. Large severe thunderstorm warnings. The National Weather Service office in Springfield, they own jurisdiction up to the state line. So they basically declared from the state line up, they're going to put severe thunderstorm warnings with a tornado possible tag. South of this line, the reason why you're not in a severe thunderstorm warning, it's got to come from the office of Little Rock. And either they're a little bit behind or they're looking at it and they go, nah, we're not going to get anything severe out of that.
Because there's, each office has its own discretion as to whether or not they want to issue a warning or not. And sometimes we get into these situations where maybe we have a storm coming out of Arkansas, moving into southern Missouri, and you're like, is the Springfield office are they going to pick that warning up or are they going to let it go? And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. It's just a wild day. Katie's mentioning Mother Nature's not playing around. Yeah, and it's I was trying to describe everything in the forecast last night. I was like, all right, guys, it's going to be nice to start. And then the cold front comes in, and there's going to be rain, and there's going to be thunderstorms, and there's going to be hail, and there may be a tornado, and there's going to be fast winds, and we may get snow afterwards, and then we're going to get record low temperatures. We're experiencing.
And then it's going to be 80 degrees again. And,
Yeah,
and then
it's
it's
like-
spring break.
And it's going to be miserable on Monday, and then it's going to be 80 degrees for the end of spring break. So it's a bunch of things starting to go off at once. Another report of hail. Guys, if you are hearing of hail reports, if you're hearing of damage reports, I know Melissa earlier, let me go back up to her comment, want to give her credit. She was saying 67 about an hour ago. Now they're at 54. So that's that temperature drop. And I'd say in
Yeah.
Springfield, we were at 67. Now we're at 45. So even more
Hey,
aggressive of temperature drop there.
And one point to make: we love these comments. If you can, though, just kind of tell us where the report is coming from, so that we can kind of correlate that information with a spot.
I believe
a little better.
I believe Melissa is Taney County because she was asking about that earlier. Could be wrong, but another report of its hailing in Ozark. Man, things really look like they're starting
There's
to
a
pick
pretty
up
good.
in,
There is a
in
pretty.
Ava.
There's a pretty good core over Ozark right now.
And this is behind the front in Ozark. You know, this is kind of
Yeah.
that lingering temperatures
Yeah.
are decreasing, still trying to produce, but it's not really enough energy to become tornadic from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Ava is behind the front too. So I think
Brooke is mentioning more pea-sized hail in Ozark. So a lot of people watch from Ozark and they're saying, hey, it's starting to pick up. Blue skies in Branson.
yeah, that core in Ozark is actually located north of 14, and it's going to be moving northeast toward Rogersville. So I think we're probably going to see that hail core. And we're not talking large hail, but maybe P or a little larger. That hail core currently is located just northeast of downtown Ozark. That is going to track up toward the Rogersville area.
Am watching on velocity,
I don't
keeping an
s-
eye for circulation. If there's anything,
There-
it's still some light circulation to the east of Ava.
Yeah, there is a. I'm looking at something here. This is south of Harrison. Now
I
this
did
is
look
not.
that
This is
far
not
south and get
warned.
down there.
This is not warned, and this is.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Yeah.
That would be a spot there south of Bellefonte, just west of Highway 65. That is
Let me flip the radar view.
yeah.
I go out of Little Rock. See if that's still
So
there.
south of Boone, actually just now crossing into southeastern Boone County near Highway 65. There may be something there to watch.
Doesn't look as bad from the Little Rock radar, but it's still
yeah, and
still there south of Harrison.
yeah, and we're actually hitting it kind of higher up in the storm from the Springfield office, and the same can be said from Little Rock. So it gets a little bit dicey, a little hard to tell. But yeah, it looks like there may be a little bit of a circulation there. I'm going to look at just straight velocity, see what that looks like. Yeah, there's a circulation, definitely southwest of Valley Springs, south of Bellefonte. I'd put it. It looks like it's about 5 miles to the south of Bellefonte.
Someone's asking, how's it going in Mansfield? If you're not talking about it, it's probably good. There's not really one location anywhere right now that we're too concerned about. Worst of it's moved through Marshfield. You're asking about Mansfield, though. I always get Marshfield and Mansfield mixed up in my mind. It's
Yeah, I could see that.
essentially
I always
spelled
just
the
put
same.
Mansfield with Seymour. That helps me.
yeah.
Look,
But it's picking up pretty well in Mansfield.
Yeah.
Once again, I almost said Marshfield again, but it's looking like just rain and thunder for you guys. I think the worst of it in Mansfield is what you just had and what you're going to get over the next 5 minutes. None of that looks tornadic, but I imagine it's raining really well. Imagine you're probably hearing lightning and thunder strikes. Maybe let me know if you see any hail in that area because I haven't heard of any reports of hail yet. So if you do see some hail in Mansfield, definitely let me know. Keep me updated on that.
yeah, and these warnings that the Springfield National Weather Service office have put out for Dent County, Texas County, Douglas, Ozark, Howell, Shannon, Oregon. These counties are these warnings are basically going ahead and just giving you a good lead time that there is a line of thunderstorms that could produce some locally damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. And we are going to be watching for these little circulations. We have seen evidence of them. I still see evidence of some very weak circulations still east of Ava. Ava, you're out of the woods, but east of Ava. And then maybe another little circulation to the north of Theodosia. And I think probably, I'm still kind of concerned about this area south of Bellefonte. We'll see what happens with that. That's going to be tracking into southeastern Boone County, and then from there it should move into Baxter County. So for folks in Baxter, Yellville, up to Bull Shoals, kind of watching that area here in the short term.
This is why I love this comment, because she commented at 3:10 saying, "Hey, we're not seeing any hail." Then she commented 1 minute later, "We're seeing pea-size hail." So it just switched on right there. That's that moment. They're starting to get hail over in Mansfield. I want to provide an update on this. The Storm Prediction Center has been trying to really pinpoint the tornado chances. They've been working on this for the last couple of days, and they had that enhanced risk over a good portion of south central Missouri, north central Arkansas a couple days ago. Yesterday, they pulled it kind of out of our area, and today they're pushing it back into our area. So what you're looking at, that 5% brown hashed area, is the Storm Prediction Center saying there's about a 5 to 10% chance that you can get a tornado in this area. So Springfield, you're not in it. It's areas that are east of this cold front, and their intensity, that hashed mark, that they're saying a 1 out of 3. So they tend to agree with us that, yeah, there's still a chance of a tornado. If it does happen, it's going to be a brief spin up. It's not going to be anything drastic. It's not going to level a neighborhood, but it is enough that can cause some damage. So they just changed that and tweaked that area.
This has been one of those situations, Matt, and I don't know what your opinion on this is, but where I felt like the local offices, Springfield, Little Rock, their wording has been a little more conservative, and I think probably more appropriate than the Storm Prediction Center. I think the Storm Prediction Center has been very aggressive with the severe weather potential.
Yeah.
I think it's been probably too strong. But, sometimes better safe than sorry. And I think probably there's a little bit of hangover after some of these outbreaks of severe weather that we've already had, where we've had tornadoes in other parts of the country. We had that one that was up in Michigan. That was a marginal risk day up in the Michigan area. And so I think that I think sometimes we get into a phase where it's like better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry.
Well, it's just a mess too, where there was blizzard warnings to the north, and someone's asking about Compton, Arkansas, and I believe that's near Harrison. I had to give that a Google. I believe that's near Harrison. We haven't talked too much about that area, and also I want to dig back in, because if there's any place that's going to be, we were looking at potential circulation over in Harrison. I don't want to lose sight of that. I believe Compton, Arkansas is around the Harrison area, just to the southwest of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they are reporting winds in Compton, Arkansas, really, really bad. Switched over to velocity. Still seeing hints of that circulation.
Yeah, sometimes on these
people that don't know, this is what we're looking at, is right in here.
Yeah,
this is the area that things are starting to try to intensify.
If I had to pinpoint something that I would be, it's probably now. It was very close to Valley Springs. Looks like it would be now northeast of Valley Springs, but it is. Sometimes there are artifacts that show up in radar that can mask what's going on. And you think, oh, maybe this is a tight circulation, and it's not. It's just an artifact of radar. But I think if there was something that I would watch for here near Harrison, you guys are in the clear in terms of tornado risk. But southeast of Bellefonte looks like still watching hints of a circulation maybe near the Everton area, although that's all I could say is that it would be hints of that. I don't see anything right now that I'm overly concerned about. And we've seen that further north too. There have been these little hints of circulations that have shown up really kind of up and down this line. And that's why the Springfield office put out these broad warnings that have these tornado possible tags attached to them.
Sleet reported in South Joplin. We're over here worried about tornadoes, and then we're starting to get sleet reports in Joplin. What is happening? What is happening?
That's a sign of that cold air just moving in upstairs. I mean, it's not only cooling off at the surface; it's cooling off aloft too.
I also don't want to lose sight of this. We're tracking the rain. We're tracking the thunderstorms. We're tracking the hail. We're tracking the tornado potential. We're tracking apparently sleet in Joplin. And if you're not seeing that, here's the last wind gusts that were reported
Dadgum.
36
Four-
miles per hour in Springfield, 46 in
mile per hour
Joplin.
gusts in Joplin.
And got to give credit to Patty. She just followed up. She's our weather watcher. Awesome person. Love her so much. And she just said, heavy snow reported in Galena, Kansas. I'm going to try to see if I can pull up a traffic camera in Galena, Kansas, and we can look at that. But
45 right now out at the airport here in Springfield. Gusts, still getting gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour. So temperatures continue to drop everywhere on the backside of that cold front. Here in Springfield, we've dropped a full 20 degrees in the last couple of hours. 20 degrees. We've dropped 20 degrees in the last couple of hours.
we're hunting Galena, Kansas, right? Galena.
I want to say, if I remember right, that's I think that's southeast Kansas.
Well, I don't want to say Patty's wrong, but the one camera I have, I'm not seeing snow.
There is a band from Olathe down toward Independence in southeast Kansas, so it may be
Keep hunting.
associated with that.
I'll keep hunting for that snow camera. I want to try to show that off, but
And yeah, we continue. We're talking about snow, and we're talking about sleet, but we're also still watching severe weather potential. We're still watching tornado potential, and I know a lot of folks want to know if they're still under the gun, or if the threat has cleared their area. If you're watching from Rolla, it looks like the tornado threat in Rolla has ended. The cold front is now through Rolla. It's a little east of Rolla right now. Still getting some thunder and lightning, heavy rainfall, maybe some small hail there. The severe weather threat has fully ended in Pulaski County in terms of tornadoes. Maybe still some small hail, but in terms of the tornado risk has ended in Pulaski County. The tornado risk has ended fully in Laclede County. The tornado risk has ended completely in Webster County and will be ending shortly in Wright County. For Christian County, for Taney County, the tornado risk has completely ended. For Carroll County in Arkansas, the tornado risk has ended. For most of Boone County, with the exception of southeastern Boone County, the tornado risk has ended. And certainly for Springfield and areas around Springfield, Republic, Nixa, Ozark, Rogersville, Willard, all of those areas, the tornado risk has ended.
Working so hard on trying to get a camera of snow just to show how crazy of a day we are having. While I'm working on that, let's go back to our router view. And I mean, you could see the snow on router. This is the line of storms that are moving in. If you have not pushed this cold front through yet, you still have that tornado chance. We're also watching in Harrison, just south of Harrison, just east of Jasper. That's probably the most intense that we're seeing right now on radar. But everywhere along that cold front still has a possibility to see a tornado spin up. Tyler asking about Osceola. You're good in Osceola. Your tornado threat has ended. Katie, I know you've been asking about West Plains. You still got, I don't know, maybe an hour until I can give you an all clear on that tornado threat. You still have to get that line that moves to West Plains. So the worst of it is nowhere even near West Plains. People are wanting to know about Douglas County. Trisha over in Douglas County.
Earlier you're talking about Compton, Arkansas. That's southwest of Harrison. Tornado
Yeah.
threat's over with there. But that little feature there, you can see it pretty. That comma-shaped storm there to the south of Harrison. I would watch that guy as it moves northeast into Baxter County. I'd watch it because it's starting to get. And there are actually a few other little we call them QLCS. These little line segments that are showing up, but that one's probably the strongest one. Extends from Bellefonte to east of Jasper. I'd be watching. You were looking at that snow band, or
I
what?
found it. Yeah, I found it.
I'd be watching that comma though coming out of southeastern Boone County into western Baxter County for some potential wind, and also we'll be keeping a real close eye for any little spin ups on that.
I found it. We're looking at Sycamore, Kansas. There's your snow. I wouldn't call it this heavy, but you can see it starting to come down.
No, it just looks miserable.
Let's go hunting on these cameras. This is US 40 north, 75, more snow there.
And now the sign said blowing dust.
Yeah, that does not look like dust. Chanute. Not seeing snow in Chanute. Let's see where else. Not seeing snow there, but I did find it. It is happening.
It is happening.
I promise it's happening.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the snow camera. That's so cool.
Yep.
It's also disgusting that I was in shorts and a t-shirt yesterday, and here's snow that's about to come, people. That is disgusting. So that's the snow that's happening over in Kansas. I've been hearing reports of sleet in Joplin as well. If anyone's closer to Joplin, let me know if you see hail, if you see sleet, if you see snow, if you see anything. I definitely want to know on that. But man, we're going from it was sunny and 70, Jamie, and now we have snow coming in. What is this?
No, I mean it was about 67 degrees at 1 o'clock this afternoon in Springfield, Missouri. It's now down to 45. In fact, let me check again because it's dropping fast. I want to give correct information. At 45 degrees. Got a gust of 30 miles per hour and a sustained wind of 22 miles per hour. 45. How about that? Wind chill of 36, Matt.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that lovely?
It's interesting. I'll call it that.
Patrick saying special weather statement on the storm over in Harrison. Okay. I'm also hunting circulations. Looks in Douglas County. This is an area that a weak circulation in northern Douglas County, south of Highway 60. That doesn't look tornadic at this time, but that has been producing at least some mid-level rotation for the last half hour. That's really the only place that's sticking out.
Yeah, I mean, there's
right now.
Looks like there's maybe a little weak circulation there west of 95, north of 76. And again, that is in Douglas County. That is well east of Ava now.
Yeah. Close to Van Zants. Yep, we're looking at the same area.
Yep. And then the other thing, again, I would watch. I think for me, the meanest looking part of the line is actually that little line segment coming out of southeastern Boone County, still west of Yellville, southwest of Bull Shoals. I would start watching for some wind to come out of that, and then again, we are going to be watching to see if any circulations show up too.
I'm still just looking at the snow in Kansas, and this is something I was forecasting. I even said last night, like, yeah, we have chances of snow afterwards, but seeing it is something different where it's like, okay.
The reality is something different from the forecast of it. Okay, so Little Rock did finally put out a warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning out for areas. This is east of Harrison into Marion and Baxter counties. That warning is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-size hail. Does not have a tornado possible tag, but it is certainly a feature that would be a storm to watch. That warning runs through, let's see here, it's kind of jumbled up.
Surprised that
until 4:15. So it's a 45-minute warning.
Surprised that one doesn't come with a tornado possible tag.
Yeah,
if you told me, Matt, I had to bet money on where a tornado could happen, it's right in here. I think closer to Galeville, Flippin, Gaskeville, Mountain Home, Arkansas. Not seeing it now, but if I had to bet money about where a tornado is going to occur, that's where my money's going to go.
Yeah, that little surge right there is going to probably move right up Highway 62. So, I mean, it'll be into Yellville shortly, then Gassville, then Mountain Home. And I would guess there's going to be some pretty good wind with it as it comes across all those communities.
Not sure if this is weather related, but serious semi accident, I-44, 140 mile marker. Let's see if we can. Also, I want to try to pull that up on camera. Also looks like we have an accident on. I know this is not the place you called out, but I do want to show this off. Another accident in Springfield. I have no information besides what we're looking at. Flintstone and Sunset. Looks like we had two cars smack into each other, probably driving too fast in the rain, lost control.
Look at that camera shaking around.
The camera is bouncing everywhere. Another report of sleet. This is the second sleet report that we've gotten. This is sleet in Sarcoxie. We've had a report of sleet in Joplin earlier. Mm-hmm. Guys, we're getting below freezing. If we have any moisture left over, that can be sleet, that can be snow. So, man, that camera is rocking. That is rocking. Wow. Makes me curious. Oh my gosh, I got to get off that. I'm going to get myself
You
dizzy.
get dizzy, right?
I'm going to pull up the wind gusts in Springfield. You know what? Let's make people dizzy. Hello, welcome to the stream. What's your guess, Jamie? What are the wind gusts in Springfield last reported?
The last that I saw was over 35.
39.
39? Yeah.
39
So
mile per hour wind
It's
gusts.
been pretty consistent. I mean, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts since the front went through. Yeah, and you see that one in Joplin. 52 mile per hour gusts reported in Emporia, Kansas. 53 in Tulsa. That's all behind the cold front. That is not related to thunderstorms. That is related to the cold, high pressure area building in behind this cold front.
Trying to hunt for that. They said a serious semi accident on mile marker 140. That's close to Lebanon, around the 140 mark. So I don't think there's a camera in that area. Lebanon's about 130, so it's past Lebanon. But yeah, Katie put in the right reaction after seeing us jiggle around on that tower camera. Man, I don't know what angle to talk about, Jamie. Do we talk about the tornado chance? Do we talk about the sleet? Do we talk about the cold? Do we talk about the fast winds?
Let's talk about the line, and we could talk about areas that are no longer under the gun in terms of tornado risk. And I think it looks like the tornado risk has, again, completely ended for our friends to the north in Miller County. Looks like in Marys County, too, I would guess it's come to an end. Pulaski County, it's come to an end. Laclede County, it's come to an end. Looks like it is just about over with in Wright County. It is quickly coming to an end from west to east in Douglas County. It has fully come to an end in Taney County. And for our friends down in Boone County, in the Harrison area, Boone County, it looks like the tornado risk has completely ended in Boone County. Areas to the east of that, though, I mean, we're still watching for some severe weather risk as this line quickly heads off to the east. I think most of these warnings, the storms are getting tracked roughly east at 45 miles per hour. So I'll pull up this one warning, the northern end.
Jan is asking about
moving east at 45.
Greene County. The worst of it is passed through in Greene County. We just have
Yes.
the temperatures tanking. We have the fast winds moving in, and still watching for the possibility of some snowflakes. Jamie roughly covered the tornado threat there. This is the last reported wind gust. So the last report, I believe, in the last 5 minutes at 3:25, 39 mile per hour wind gusts in Springfield, 38 in Branson, 38 in Harrison, 46 in Joplin, 26 in West Plains. And also notice on this graphic, if you look at Springfield, the arrow's kind of pointing to the southwest. In Branson, to the southwest. In Joplin, to the southwest. And West Plains, the arrow's pointed up. You guys are still getting the warm air. You haven't been on the backside of that cold front, and that's about to very quickly change. And as that changes, that's why we were concerned about those chances of those thunderstorms. Snow is good. I do not agree with you at all. Listen, I love Missouri, just not the weather. That's also another fair comment. I want to talk about the temperatures. Temperatures have been tanking. If you haven't walked outside, well, things have definitely changed. 44 degrees in Springfield.
41 in Joplin.
We were 67 degrees at 1 o'clock, so we've lost about 23 degrees in a little more than 2 hours.
Yeah. It's 32 in Chanute, Kansas, and that is where our cold is coming from.
That's where they're getting snow, too.
Yeah, it's so we're going to look for these temperatures in our area. I think that we should be in the upper 30s by late afternoon. I think we're going to be at 39 maybe by 5 o'clock here in Springfield. When we woke up this morning, it was in the 60s. It was in the low 60s when we got up this morning. And now we're looking at the end of the day, and it's going to be in the upper 30s. I mean, this has been I think that's the talker about this system today. It's just the wild swing in temperatures that we're going to get, where we go from springtime to wintertime. And it's really kind of been, this is a flavor of what we've had throughout this past winter, where it's not that we haven't had cold, we just haven't had a lot of it. But when we get it, we get it. We get a big burst of it, and then it relaxes and we get a lot of warmth. and then you get a burst of cold again. And so right now we're getting our little dose of cold weather, and then it will go away by Wednesday of this week. Going back to
It's going to get nice, just
yeah,
not for tomorrow.
So right now, again, in terms of severe weather, we have 3 very broad severe thunderstorm warnings that encompass most of the line in our area. They run from Texas County down through Baxter County in Arkansas. This is primarily for a risk of damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. There are some pockets of hail. Most of it is small. We're also keeping a very close watch on any little circulations that can show up. And at this stage of the game, I think the one spot I would watch for, I'd watch most closely would be currently right around Yellville.
Yeah.
And then that'll move into Flippin, and then probably near or just north of Gassville. So that right there along Highway 62. That's probably, out of the line of storms that we have moving through our area, that's probably the area to watch most closely.
I agree. Going up the line, I'm not seeing anything else sticking out.
And the cold front, the cold front is very distinguishable on radar. I mean, it's just about through Phelps County. It is now into northwest Dent County. It is kind of stretched across Texas County from southwest to northeast. It's just about cleared eastern Douglas County, and it looks like it has now moved east of Gainesville and Ozark.
I do want to show this off, Jamie. Getting changes on power outages, still about 3,000 people without power, but 859 of those are occurring in Douglas County, about 400 people without power in Benton County. Greene County has 13, so they had about 100 earlier. That is quickly going down. None in Christian County, so good amount of people without power in Douglas County. That's definitely worth mentioning. Nearly 1,000 people with those fast winds that have moved in.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of different elements with this storm.
Still getting reports of hail. It's generally been about pea-sized. I just got another report here out of Marshfield, a pea-sized hail, and that is on the back side of that cold front. But yeah, there's still a few thunderstorms on the back side of the cold front, in the cold air part of where the cold front is.
I want to show off the camera over in downstream. And you can see that shake.
Mm-hmm.
Not seeing, some people are reporting sleet in Joplin. This camera, not technically in Joplin, but very close to it.
Something big.
There is something flying on top of it too. But look at that shaking. That's the gust about 40 miles per hour that's blowing in the cold air, that's making things so much colder that you were maybe in the shorts and t-shirts yesterday, but now you're having to break out the winter coat. It's going to be disgusting on Monday. Feels like forecasts keeps it into the teens for most of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're going to be talking about that tonight, but I mean, we can tell folks right now. I mean, because I know folks probably already like planning out. Well, what do I need to wear tomorrow? You're going to dress like it's wintertime. You're going to want to. I mean, when we say a heavy coat, you're going to want a heavy coat. I mean, it's going to be in the upper teens to start the day. The winds are going to remain pretty stiff, not only tonight but tomorrow. So we're going to have, and I haven't checked that, but I mean, we're starting off in the upper teens. I think we're probably going to have wind chills maybe in the single digits, upper single digits.
Yeah, wind chills were sitting at 1, maybe 0 to start off Monday.
To start off the day, I mean, here on today's March 15th, March 16th. Matt mentioned it earlier. I mean, we're looking at near record lows with this wave of cold coming in, and there's an hour by hour of the cold coming in tonight.
Here is, let's do 8 p.m. 32 in Springfield, 35 in West Plains, 33 in Mountain Grove. Everyone essentially gets to freezing by the time we get to this evening hour and keeps going down out of the 30s, out of the 20s.
And folks,
and I think we can get into the teens. This model may be a couple of degrees too warm. I think we have chances to possibly set a record low.
Please, 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 if you have had plants go out onto your patio that normally are maybe in your home, or you've had them in your garage and you're like, oh, it's gotten warm, I want them to soak up some of this rain. Please make sure you bring them back inside. This isn't an if it will kill your plant. This is a certainty. It will kill your plant if you leave it outside. Anything that is tender in nature, is not going to make it through the cold that we're going to have tomorrow morning. This is going to be a very hard, killing, long duration freeze that we have tonight into Monday morning. And then we're going to do it again. If that didn't do it, we're going to do it again Monday night into Tuesday morning.
Yeah. Amy mentioning, I'm glad I didn't plant my vegetable garden yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
a little
so
too early for that.
It's so tempting, if you go to these, some of these garden centers, and I mean, they've already got trees out. They've got, they got a lot of stuff out for you to buy, and it's like it's been so warm, and if you're like me, you get real itchy. You wanna buy this stuff. You wanna put it in the ground. You wanna beautify your porch, but this cold is not going to be good for that at all.
TJ's asking about Kabul, and it is intensifying over Kabul. I'm not seeing anything that looks tornadic, but I imagine you're about to get some very good-sized hail, and it's about to pour. Looking at what I'm seeing on reflectivity, I'd say the strongest out of everything I'm seeing right now is in Yellville for Arkansas and for Missouri, just west of Kabul, knocking on the door. That is the strongest out of everything I'm seeing on radar. So, TJ, if you're watching from Kabul, just keep the chat up. Let me know. I imagine, give it a couple minutes. It is going to rain hard. Winds are going to pick up. You're going to get that lightning thunder. Yeah. If you get any hail, please let me know, because I imagine you're about to get some hail in Kabul. So stay with us. Keep us updated on that.
Like you said, Matt, that front is going through Kabul right now. It is going through Houston in Texas County right now.
Yes.
Looks like it has already moved through Licking, so it's just east of Licking. So the front's quickly heading off to the east. Kind of looking down this line, just little bit of a circulation to the very close to Topaz. That is in eastern Ozark County, just south of Highway 76, southeast of Van Zant. A little bit of a circulation there to keep an eye on. Again, when we say circulation, that does not mean that we're saying there's a tornado. It just means that there is a circulation showing up on radar, and it's something to keep an eye on. We're looking for trends. We're looking for intensification. And then we're also still watching that line segment that's coming across. Looks like it's just about through Baxter County, getting ready to move into Marion County. It's moved through Marion. It's just about moved through Marion. It's about to move into Baxter County.
I'm going to try to keep up with your guys' comment. Johnny mentioning that we have hail in Reed Springs. Reed's Spring. I was get the S wrong in there. Asking about Branson West and Indian Point. The worst of it has moved through Branson. So I think it's going to pick back up. You're going to get more rain. It's going to shower again in Branson. Nothing like what you saw earlier. The worst of it has moved through. You're still going to have gusty winds throughout the night. Temperatures are going to continue to decrease, but not really concerned about a tornado threat in Branson West. You're on the backside of that cold front. Kabul is the area that is seeing the most intense activity right now. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning. I'm a little bit confused what's going on because it's
for Shannon. No, I think it was already for Shannon.
Put tornado possible. I think they're trying to change the polygons up, and they're overlapping. Let me see.
I think you're right.
And they're bumping up the hail core. That's what it is. So they changed it before. They had about pea-sized hail. Now they're saying quarter, if not quarter, 1.25. What is that? Not quite golf ball size. But they're going a little bit larger on the hail core on these storms.
Is that for the Kabul storm?
That is Douglas, Howell, Ozark, Texas, and Wright County.
I wonder for for the larger hail size. I bet it's for that stronger core that you were talking about near Kabul.
Yeah. Also,
looks like that core is just about over Kabul, kind of passing just north of Kabul.
National Weather Service also saying what you just said, Jamie. They're watching around the Van Zant area for some rotation. They don't think it's tornado warned, but they're trying to play the whack-a-mole. Areas that could be of concern near Van Zant is an area that they're watching for a rotation. It looks like the hail core is going just to the north of Kabul. So that looked like it was going to smack in the middle of really downtown Kabul. Now the hail core sliding to the north. That's where the most intense of it is. If you're in Kabul, you're still probably getting a good licking of it, but just to the north of Kabul, that's where the hail core is pushing.
Go down into eastern Douglas County. You're talking about Van Zant. It's near Topaz. There's a little nub there. You can kind of see it zoomed out. But if you zoom in to that little area west of Willow Springs, Yeah, just keep zooming in. It's right there east of Topaz. Yeah, right there. You can see where you got that hot pink.
Yeah,
Yep, and then
yeah,
to the north, it's not that little nub right there. That's the spot right there that Weather Service folks are looking at, and just seeing how that little circulation behaves right now. Right now, your reflectivity is saying, hey, you might have a little rotation. And then the velocity product's saying, hey, there might be a little bit of rotation right there, but not strong enough to warrant a tornado warning. The other spot would be down toward Gassville, a very broad area of rotation. And I'm using the Springfield radar, so that's hitting that storm pretty high up. So,
Jamie, they are going to issue a tornado warning for Kabul and Van Zants. So that is an update from the National Weather Service. If you want, you can hop on air, and then I'll kind of keep the coverage. So that warning is about to come out. Tornado warning just issued right there. That contains parts of Kabul, Sargent, Willow Springs, Van Zants. That's where that tornado warning is going to be issued. Jamie's going to run in real quick and kind of, here, let me switch the camera back to me. He's going to hop on air. We're going to do tornado coverage for this. Once he's live, I will take his feed. And once we get past this tornado warned storm, and once the warning breaks down, we'll join you back on Facebook. We'll answer questions. So we want to make sure that you guys have coverage. This is our entire goal, is to provide coverage before the tornado warning, during the tornado warning, and after the tornado warning. So that is what we're looking. We're looking at the area over in Van Zants. This is where this tornado warning has been issued. This includes Willow Springs. This is only radar indicated at this time. We don't have sights of anything of a funnel producing, but we are really looking into the Van Zants area, east of Topaz. It's going to be around Highway 76. Let's go over to the velocity data and get the camera view changed for you guys. Nova saying temperatures dropped 15 degrees in the last hour. Yeah, very quickly temperature drop. This is the first tornado warning of the night. Very weak rotation, but it's enough rotation that National Weather Service wanted to get ahead of this. Concerns that can start to tighten up. I do want to mention, it looks like the worst of it, if you are watching from Kabul, we had a couple people watch from the Kabul area. The worst of that is moving out of Kabul, so not as concerned about a tornado into Kabul. I know the sirens are probably going off. It looks like that circulation is just to the south of Kabul, and it's going to be moving areas off into the northeast. There's the area where it's going to start to really track in. Tiffany's asking about Rolla. Just looks like thunderstorms in Rolla, nothing tornadic at this time. I do want to see how fast this is moving. Let's see here. This is moving. Warning goes till 4:15. What is the movement on this? It's going to be east-northeast. How fast? Can't find how fast this is moving. 45 miles per hour. So this is going 45 miles per hour. I imagine if you're in Kabul, yep, TJ is watching from Kabul. Says sirens are going off. Looks like snow from all that hail. Wow, so TJ he's been giving us updates throughout the Kabul area. They've been just getting that hail core tornado warning into that area. If you're in Willow Springs, you need to start getting into your safe place. If you're into Van Zants, if you're east of Topaz, Sterling's an area you need to get into your tornado safe space as well. So those are the key areas that need to be taking shelter from this. Williams asking, are sirens sounding in Kabul? It's TJ, I know you're from Kabul. Let us know if sirens are going off there. I'm not quite sure on that. I also want to very quickly look along this line if there's any other areas that may get tornado warned. And we were watching over in Gassville, and I'm seeing signs of rotation. None of that screams tornadic at this time, but if you're watching from northern Arkansas over in Gassville, that's another area that tornadoes are going to try to start to form. So only one tornado warning at this time. Rotation doesn't seem as strong as what it was. Hopefully it still continues to go off. TJ saying, yes, tornado sirens are going off in Kabul with that big hail core. He mentioned it looked like it was snowing with how much that was going on. Willow Springs, tornado sirens are going off. That's good. That's another place that if you're in Willow Springs, get ready to take shelter. It's not at you yet, but give it about 5 minutes and you're really going to start to see, I'd say about 5 to 10 in Willow Springs, and you're really going to start to see that pick up. Sirens sounding in Kabul. Katie also watching from Kabul. That's another area that we're getting updates on. Jamie not on TV just yet, but once he does, we're going to take his feed and I'll run in there and help him. Katie mentioning, yep, sirens in Kabul. All right. It looks like the hail core, I do want to mention this, even though this is not tornado warned, the hail core of the storm just went from Kabul. It's looking at this purple area. That is going to go to the south of Houston. So if you're watching from Houston, if you're watching from parts of Texas County, that's another area that I'm expecting hail to really pick back up. Doesn't seem like that's going to be part of the tornado warning, but it is going to be an area that you're going to see the heavy hail that just went through Kabul. Once again, tornado warning. This is going to be moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So if you are watching from Willow Springs, we had someone earlier mention that they are. Dawn, I would start getting into your safe places. Very quickly, you're going to get these line of storms that are going to move in. It's going to quickly change that cold front. Skies are going to darken up. It's going to pour. The winds are going to start to flip. Williams asking, is the tornado coming to West Plains? No, it looks like it's going to be too far to the north of you. We're still watching for the possibility of a tornado in West Plains. I can't promise you you're going to be good throughout the night, but this is an area that we're going to keep our eye on. Jamie just broke into TV coverage, and I'm going to take his feed and run in there and help him with the tornado coverage. So let me pull this up in a second. We're going to keep this live stream up. I'm going to keep answering questions for you guys. Once this tornado warning expires, we'll be back, and we'll help kind of answer any questions that you guys have throughout the storm. Here we go. Jamie is going to be here and here. Let's see if I can get his feed. There we go.
Where there might be a tornadic circulation. And even outside of that spot, we have seen some weak circulation sort of show up and down this line. But it appears to me that that is probably the most concerning area. That, again, is near Highway 76, just west of Willow Springs. Looks like that is now into northwestern Howell County. So particularly residents from Sterling down toward Willow Springs and west in that northwestern corner of Howell County, I think that that is where the tornado risk is greatest at this time with a potential circulation. Now, I will put the scope on this, and we'll take a look at what this looks like in terms of the wind field. In fact, we're just going to go to velocity because sometimes that gets a little bit messy. Switching things over to velocity, you can see what appears to be a little bit of a circulation again there just near Highway 76. I took it back. This is 3:42 this afternoon. This is when it was pretty close to Topaz. That is the circulation that we're tracking now along Highway 76 in northwestern sections of Howell County. So if you live in northwestern Howell County especially, you're now under a tornado warning. It's time to take preparations, get into that tornado safe space. Outside of that circulation, there have been other circulations that have kind of come and gone with time. There may be another one. You can see this other little nub. This is on the northern edge of that tornado warning. This is to the south of Houston. You can see this little nub right in here. Looks like this also might be a weak circulation that we're watching closely to see if a tornado comes out of it. So within this tornado warning, and by the way, that warning does run through 4:45 until 4:15, I should say, this afternoon. There are a couple of suspect spots. This one right here, and then this one right here to the west of Willow Springs. They're both tracking generally like this. In fact, I'll go ahead and take that little tablet off, and we'll run an animation of this. And you can see how these little nubs, these areas of potential tornadic activity, kind of running not quite east, a little bit north of east in this fashion. So again, if you live here in southern sections of Texas County, northern sections of Howell County, that risk for a tornado is there as this line pushes off to the east. And this is going to be one of those days where we don't necessarily issue these really focused tornado warnings. These are going to be more boxy in nature because the circulations kind of come and go very quickly. You have a line of thunderstorms, and that line is now moving across Dent County, Texas, into Howell. It's just about cleared eastern Ozark County. It stretches down into Marion and Baxter County. And as that line pushes east, we're going to be looking for these little bitty embedded circulations that could become tornadic in nature. And circulations here in this portion of the line have intensified enough to warrant a tornado warning and the possibility that there may be a tornado trying to briefly touch down, maybe in a couple of different spots on that line. Again, the two suspect areas that I can see would be to the southeast of Simmons and also to the west of Willow Springs. I'll go back over to our velocity data and we can see what that looks like, see if those circulations are a little bit more apparent. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over to something that may help pull this out a little bit better. Let's go ahead, Matt.
To pull that up, I do want to mention here in a spotter report, they're seeing that circulation headed towards Willow Springs. So that kind of verifies what we're saying with this area. Tornado sirens have been going off in Kabul. Tornado sirens have been going off in Willow Springs. If you are in Willow Springs, take shelter right now. I do want to mention the hail core. That just moved through Kabul, and I heard from someone who was in that area, and they told me it looked like it was snowing with so much hail. That is now to the north of Kabul, south of Houston, and that core is going to continue to move across Texas County. So that's not tornado warned, but I do want to mention a very decent size of hail that's continuing to rip across Texas County just to the north of this tornado warning.
Good information there, Matt. And Matt, again, highlighting the two areas. We've got a broad warning, but the two areas that I'm most concerned about, looks like we've got a circulation right here to the southeast of Simmons, and there's also a circulation here to the west-southwest of Willow Springs. These circulations are tracking roughly like this. So if you live in and around Willow Springs or west of Willow Springs, possible tornado with that circulation. Also southeast of Simmons here in southern sections of Texas County. If you live over toward Highway 137 north of Pierce, that circulation is going to be moving across that area roughly like that. And looks like they're updating the severe thunderstorm warning, probably kind of trimming out some of that area. But I'll go ahead and I'll loop this. In fact, it may be a little bit, maybe better for me to just kind of back this up a few frames, and you can see these circulations. So this is at 3:38 this afternoon. That's the circulation that has now gotten into northwestern Howell County. This is the circulation that we were watching that is now located southeast of Simmons. Both of these circulations, they've been persistent enough so that, yeah, I mean, there's some concern that there may be something that is at least briefly trying to touch down. Latest scan coming in fact, I'll go ahead and adjust this radar view just a little bit. Latest scan coming in here south of Yukon. Looks like that's the circulation that's been cutting across the northern edge of this tornado warning. And then the other circulation was showing up back here. I'm not really seeing that any longer, but I do see something right here. So we're going to go back over to our radar view and see what that looks like, because that may pop out. Yeah, so we are still seeing evidence of this little nub right in here. So north of Willow Springs, looks like we have a circulation right here. And then southeast of Yukon, you see that little nub right there. That's indicative of basically some weak rotation showing up on radar. And it may be now strong enough so that something's trying to touch down briefly. These circulations have been apparent for probably about the last 15 minutes or so. And if you live downstream of this line, if you live over toward Dent County and Shannon County, this line is going to be pushing into your area here shortly. In fact, let's go ahead and we will track this as a line. This hopefully will do a pretty good job. It's moving east at roughly 45 miles per hour, a little bit north of east. So you can see over the next 30 minutes, it's going to make its way into this line that is tornado warned right now. This part of the line should make its way into northwestern sections of Shannon County. It should be near the Hartshorn area at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Should be into Mountain View a little after 4 o'clock, and it should be into Pomona. I think you're going to be south of where that circulation is, but near the line itself will be in Pomona at about 3:59 this afternoon. So that's that's the next 30 minutes. Looks like we got an update on that warning. Matt, what's the update that's coming in from the Weather Service office?
I'll dig in and try to find that out, but I agree with you, Jamie. I think the area that's south of Yukon, that's just on the edge of that tornado warning, I would not be surprised if they issue another tornado warning for that, because that looks just as intense as what's about to spill into Willow Springs, if not even stronger. Yeah,
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to basically one of our wind products. It allows us to see a little bit more clearly what's going on. So Still looks like we've got a circulation right here, north of Willow Springs, and it looks like we've got southeast of Houston. And this is outside of the tornado warning, but it looks like here very close to Highway 17 running west out of Summersville, looks like we may still have a circulation right there. And both of these are tracking roughly like this. So again, people downstream of that line into especially Shannon County, that portion of the line that is currently tornado warned is going to be moving into your area over the next half an hour. So if you live in places like Summersville, down toward Mountain View and east of there, again, that risk for severe weather, including tornadoes, is going to be increasing over the next hour as that line pushes, the next half an hour to an hour as that line continues to push east into your areas. Going back over to radar, I do want to take a look at what's going on further north and further south. This is a very quick hitting round of severe weather. The line is moving very quickly through the area. I think the severe weather threat locally in our area, and that when I say that is for the eastern part of our viewing areas, Dent County, Shannon County, Oregon County, I think that severe weather threat ends by around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So we're looking at roughly another hour of watching this line of severe storms moving through. The line so far this afternoon has produced some gusty winds. I'm not seeing any severe wind reports, but it has definitely produced gusty winds that may have topped 40, possibly approaching 50 miles per hour. We've also seen numerous reports of small hail, generally pea-sized hail, out of the storms that are on the front and also a few storms on the back side of the front in the colder air. And as this line of storms has matured, as it's moved east of Highway 65, now getting into our eastern counties, we're now seeing circulations that are getting strong enough, because we've seen a few circulations already, but we're now getting some circulations that are strong enough to warrant the possibility of tornadoes.
Jamie, I do want to mention
new tornado warning.
Yep, new tornado warning that was just issued. It's the area we were talking about, south of Yukon, west of Summersville, along Highway 17. That was just issued by the National Weather Service. Same messaging on that. I believe they have it northeast at 45. So it's really that one area in Texas County things are starting to intensify. Yeah, it's moving east-northeast at 45 miles per hour. That warning is until at least 4:30.
Yeah, so Matt's talking about this northern warning that's just come out. I'll clear that information out. This is the new warning that's just come out. This does include areas downstream of the line into northwestern Shannon County. So if you're watching from between Summersville and Acres, you're now under a tornado warning. This portion of the line, and you can see this is fairly distinct. You can see that little nub right there, that little hook shape right there. That's indicative of some rotation showing up on radar right about there, and that is tracking roughly east-northeast. You said, Matt, at 45 miles per hour?
I'm going to see if I can get this on air, but we have video of damages happening in Willow Springs. If you hit play on that, Jamie, it looks like a barn. The winds pick up, and you can see the barn start to fall apart. The animals run out of it. So we have damages confirmed in Willow Springs right now.
Yeah.
That is with the fast winds. I can't tell if that's due to the circulation of this tornado warning, but regardless, winds incredibly fast in this area, causing confirmed damages.
Yeah, you actually see the roof of this barn lift up and then off, and then all of the animals that have been inside of the barn taking shelter run out of the barn. Can't tell if they all were able to safely kind of move out, but it looked like maybe they were. But again, just testament of the strong winds that are coming in with this portion of the line. Again, this is tornado warned as well. And even though maybe it's not technically a tornado, it still appears to be at least straight line winds that could be topping 60 miles per hour. And I would guess that video is probably taken out of an area just north of the Willow Springs area. It appears that that's where the winds were probably strongest, and that's closest to where that circulation that we were watching was tracking through. So we've got, again, 2 tornado warnings that run through about 4:30, 4:45 this afternoon. We've got the northern warning, which is the most fresh warning that's been issued for this part of the line. This is about ready to move into northwestern Shannon County. And then we've got this portion of the line, which has been tornado warned, that is now moving east of Willow Springs and northeast of Willow Springs. This is going to approach the Summersville area. Summersville residents, you're not under a tornado warning technically, but this portion of the line is going to be moving toward your area. So I would at the very least be very, very weather aware. The risk of damaging winds is possible with this line, and possibly a brief tornado is possible with that line as it moves into the Summersville area and then crosses into western Shannon County. So couple of areas that we're concerned about. This part of the line here to the east-southeast of Houston, and then this portion of the line that is now tracking east and northeast of Willow Springs. These little line segments are moving east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. And going back, we're going to go over to velocity. We're going to take a look at what's going on with the winds, and let's see. We'll loop that. Hopefully, it's slow enough where it's kind of apparent, but. You can see right there's the circulation that's coming out of Douglas County right through there. It's now into southeastern Texas County. And then here's the latest circulation that we've seen kind of develop near Kabul, and then now it's east of Kabul. If you are watching from Houston, if you are watching from Kabul, the tornado threat is over with for your area. But if you're watching from maybe southern Dent County through Shannon County, down into eastern sections of Howell County, severe weather threat does continue, and the risk for at least brief spin-ups is there. Matt was showing us earlier, or showed me, and I think we're going to try to effort to get that on the air. I hear that we do have access to that video. They're going to play that. You can see the barn. You can see the roof of that barn lifting off, and then you can see all of the animals dashing basically away from the barn that's been ripped up off the ground. So that's very dramatic footage showing, again, not necessarily a tornado. You can't say that that's what that was, but we can say that very strong winds at least impacted that barn. I would guess at least 60 miles per hour, if not greater, hitting that barn and then lifting the roof off of that barn and causing all of the animals to scatter. So Matt's trying to get them to show that video one more time. Again, we still have two different areas that we're watching for possible tornadoes, and we'll go back over to, there it is, there's the video again, and you can see
that is in Willow Springs. Once again, that's in Willow.
Can we get exactly where, because I believe based on the
County Road 2602 in Willow Springs.
So look that up. I believe that probably either would have been west or northwest or north of Willow Springs.
Look at that tree that falls
down. Yeah, you can see it.
So
you can see a tree
barn,
come down
and then
too.
look at the tree that falls down right afterwards. Mm-hmm. That may be the tornado that we're seeing. This looks more than just straight line winds. That tornado starts to topple.
The reason why I'd say it could, you can see that the wind direction is generally from one direction to the other. We're not seeing a swirling nature here. It doesn't matter though. Clearly this is damaging winds that has hit this area near Willow Springs. And you can see that barn just coming to pieces as the roof gets lifted. But it does look like most, if not all, of the animals have made it out. And that certainly is a piece of good news. But again, a testament of the dangerous, the danger of these storms moving through some of these communities here in areas along and east of Highway 63 now. Again, just Matt, thanks for getting that on.
That was sent to us by Willow Springs Fire Department. We want to thank them for that video. But once again, thank you to the Willow Springs Fire Department for sending that in. That's an area you need to be taking shelter, especially if you're to the east of Willow Springs. The National Weather Service continuing this tornado warning, continue it downstream. They don't see anything that shows signs of that this rotation is completely weakening. So they're going to continue with this messaging at this time.
I think for me, Matt, I think probably there's still a circulation showing up. This would be to the southwest of Summersville. This would be roughly between Willow Springs and Summersville. There's also a stronger circulation showing up east of Raymondville, north of Hartshorn, to the southwest of Acres. So this is what we're kind of keeping an eye on. And that what we have maybe the greatest, at least looking at this, to me, this is probably the stronger circulation, and it's located roughly there to the east-southeast of Raymondville, northeast of Eunice, and it's tracking east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So that's going to take it. We'll broaden this view out just a little bit. We'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and track this. Looks like a new tornado warning just got issued for the southern portion of that line.
Continuing with that same that pushes it into Shannon County now.
Yeah, so tracking this northern circulation, if you live in and around Acres, I think it's going to be in your community at about 4:20, roughly 15 minutes from now. So circulation is showing up here to the northwest of Hartshorn, tracking east-northeast at 45. Folks, if you live in northwestern Shannon County, that circulation is now moving into your area. You just saw the newest scan come in. This is the part of the line that we're watching. That new scan showing that the line is now moving into northwestern Shannon County. And if you're watching in and around Acres, I think you're down to 10 minutes or less before that storm arrives, with the possibility of not only damaging winds, but maybe also a tornado as well. The new warning that has just come in is for areas further south. Broaden that out a little bit. That is for areas along from Summersville east to Eminence. So Highway 106 there, from Summersville east to Eminence, now under a tornado warning. This is the new one right here. That is for this portion of the line. And you can see it there to the southwest of Summersville. This is tracking east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So I'll track that out. And that will bring it roughly across this area over the next 30 minutes. So Summersville residents, the tornado risk is probably coming through in under 10 minutes. If you're watching toward the Eminence area and north of Eminence, which is roughly where that part of the line is going to track through, I would say about 30 minutes from now is when that portion of the line is going to be tracking through from areas from Flatwood down toward Eminence. Clearing that out, we're going to go to a broad view of what's happening across the area. If you're watching from places like Rolla, maybe the Hartville area, Ava, Harrison, the severe weather threat has ended for your communities. The severe weather threat has ended for areas west. This is actually snow showing up on radar west of Joplin. We've had sleet reports out of the Joplin area, so kind of an indication of just the very dynamic nature of today and this cold front that's whipping across the area. This again is the area that we're most concerned about. You can see we have these little commas that are showing up. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one right there. Another one moving into western Fulton County. These are going to be the areas that are going to be, I think, focal points for strong and damaging winds, and also the possibility of brief tornadoes. Matt was able to get on the air, again, a great piece of video showing damaging winds moving through the Willow Springs area. That was a tornado-warned storm. Damaging winds moving through the Willow Springs area. You could clearly see a roof get lifted up. It's a barn roof, just get lifted up off the ground, kind of scattered into the field, and then all of the animals come running out away from, again, that roof being blown off. Zooming back in, Matt, looks like you've got something you want to point out.
No, I just want to, if you could zoom out on that satellite radar view, it's just a wild image where we have tornado warnings along and east of Highway 63, and then snow's coming in on I-49.
So this is the snow back in here.
It is. We're seeing everything at once. The tornado warnings to the east, the snow that's coming in afterwards. Temperatures are quickly decreasing. If you're watching from Springfield, Ozark, Nixa, Branson, kind of that metro area, your tornado threat has ended, but temperatures are decreasing. We still have the chance to see some snowflakes if any moisture lingers on the back side of this. So a whole lot that's happening on the radar at once. We're focusing on the tornado warnings now because that's the most severe of what's happening, but still have tumbling temperatures, winds gusting between 40 to 50 miles per hour, and snow chances for tonight too.
Yeah, right, and right now it's not only tornado warnings locally in our area. Looks like we've got one up here in the St. Louis area, north of St. Louis, right there on the river. And the risk for severe weather is actually going to increase across southeast Missouri and into southern Illinois and northeast Arkansas over the next several hours as that line arrives into what should be a fairly unstable environment. Locally, again, for us, there are still two distinct circulations showing up on radar, and those are again, focused right here where we have these tornado warnings.
Jamie, I do want to mention there's going to be another tornado warning for Acres. They're on the edge of that polygon. The National Weather Service is going to continue that downstream. So same tornado warning, just about to get extended. They're trying to keep it in the boxes as much as they can, but these systems are flying by. You do not have a lot of time to take shelter.
So I put the scope on here, Matt, and so here's Acres. This is the circulation right in here that's approaching Acres from the west-southwest. So yes, I do think that you're going to get some damaging wind gusts into the Acres area and possibly a tornado, because we're still seeing that circulation that has been tornado warned, and that is the latest warning. In fact, let's go ahead and kind of broaden that out a little bit. That does include also for our residents watching out of southeastern Dent County. You are now under a tornado warning. So we've got 3 tornado warned areas. One is southeastern Dent County, northern Shannon County. The other is from northeastern or eastern sections of Texas County into northwestern Shannon County. And then the other warning is from areas south of the Summersville area, right down Highway 160 approaching imminence. It is for this part of the line. This has been the portion of the line that has really had the highest indications of not only strong and damaging winds, but also these circulations which are showing up. And we've got, just looking at a different radar view, I can still see what appears to be evidence of a circulation near Summersville, and also evidence of a circulation near and north of Acres. So still showing up on radar, at least two distinct circulations within this line, one near Summersville, the other one near and just to the north of Acres. It also looks like we've got some pretty good hail coming into areas west of Acres. We'll go ahead and put that, we'll show you, highlight where that is. And that kind of comes in pretty nicely right there. So we may be getting some quarter-size hail, possibly up to golf ball size. That's the hail core. So here's Acres right here, west of Acres. This is the hail core coming in with that storm. One thing that also says is that that is a very intense thunderstorm. Most of the storms along the line are not that intense. They're not producing large hail. They're producing maybe pea size. This part of the line, that storm itself, is strong enough to actually produce some large hail. And that is also where we're looking at a concern for tornadic weather. Again, still watching a couple of different circulations. Boy, it gets real messy once we get kind of between radar sites. I think we're kind of switching views there.
West of West Plains, that's an area that trying to see maybe some hints of rotation too. I wouldn't say it's as strong as the tornado warned areas, but just west of West Plains, that's another area trying to tighten up, especially have gotten more interesting in the last couple of scans. That's something I'm keeping my eye on right now. Also, you had that hail tracker up, and it was estimating maybe dime size. I think that estimate is underdoing it. I would almost expect the hail in that area to be a lot larger.
At least
than
quarter
dime size.
size, at least quarter.
I would buy that for sure. So
Yeah.
I think our in-house product is underestimating how much hail is occurring into that area. So good hail core has been reported.
Yeah.
There was a viewer from Kabul said it was hailing so much it looked like it was snowing on the ground. So that's that core that's about to move into the Acres area along with the fast gusty winds.
And and today's going to be one of those days where it can be rather hard to really kind of pinpoint the circulations. They're not overly strong, and they tend to be sort of shallow in nature. So you get this far away from the radar site, and sometimes you kind of have to go off a gut or go off of what you see on other radar images. I can say that it still appears that the circulation still once showing up near Summersville. This is north of Highway 160. This isn't one of those slam dunk, you see it and it's like, wow, that's a tornado. But circulation still showing up there to the east-northeast of Summersville, just north of Highway 106. This is southeast of Hartshorn, and that area is tornado warned west of imminence. Another area that we've been watching very closely has been moving across the Acres area, and it looks like maybe still southwest of Gladden. We may still have some evidence of a circulation right in here. This is north of Acres. This is west of Highway 19, but approaching Highway 19 very quickly. If you live in and around Gladden down Highway 19, looks like there may be strong winds, possibly a tornado approaching from the west-southwest. Looks like we just got a new scan in, so I'm going to clear all that information out and kind of broaden this view out. Just looking at this new scan,
Nothing really jumping out at me. You know, Matt was earlier talking about west of West Plains. West Plains, you guys are still just east of the cold front. And looking at radar right now, not as intense, but you can see, I mean, this is what Matt's talking about right there. This isn't tornado warned, but these severe thunderstorm warnings to the south along the line, they come with that tornado possible tag because the circulations, they may be weak, but they're there. And if they tighten up a little bit more, boom, here comes the tornado warning. But again, we can give you a heads up that you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, damaging winds, brief tornadoes possible with that warning. The higher likelihood area for tornadoes, though, continues to be areas to the north from southeastern Texas County into western sections of Shannon County. So we'll kind of zoom in on that. I'm going to stop this from moving around so much. We're getting to a place where we're sort of the line itself is in between radar sites, between Springfield and St. Louis. So if I move back and forth, it wants to go from one to the other, and it can be a little bit confusing. So we're going to lock it down. We're looking out of the Springfield office, and you can see the line has now made its way through Salem. This is, again, I pointed this out earlier. You can see this little S shape. There's another one right there. These are the areas that are going to be suspect, probably focal points for severe weather, including damaging winds and maybe brief tornadoes. Where you see these lines kind of take on that S shape, the wind energy in the atmosphere is coming in like this out of the southwest. So that wind energy is able to get a hold of these little areas, these little kinks in the line. They're able to get a hold of that and start to cause them to surge off to the northeast. And then those surges, that wind energy is able to come down and make it all the way down to the surface, and you get these little strips of damaging wind gusts. These are also going to be areas where the risk of a brief spin-up tornado is heightened. Especially, again, you can see this little kink right in here. It's this portion right there. That is going to be the portion of the line that we're concerned we could see little circulations kind of come and go. They've been transient. We've been able to track them over a few scans, and then they tend to fade away. But we watch for these features, that little nub right there. That's going to be an area that we're watching as it continues to track roughly east-northeast across northern Shannon County and then into southeastern Dent County. There's another one. You can see it here moving across southeastern Texas County. This is southeast of Houston. That's going to move into southwestern and west central areas of Shannon County. That is going to be another area where, again, it's going to be a focus for damaging winds and possibly some brief tornadoes. Outside of that, looking further downstream, I'm not seeing anything. For our folks watching maybe out of Fulton County, I'm not seeing anything that is, and I'll move this down. That's that portion of the line right there. That would be another area that I'd watch very closely, but I'm not seeing anything that's imminent. But again, this would be a part of the line that I'd watch for a heightened risk of damaging winds and maybe a brief spin-up tornado. That is northwestern Fulton County to the west-northwest of Salem. These lines, or little line segments, are moving roughly east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So with that, we'll go back up to areas that are currently tornado warned, and we'll track some of this out for you. And rather than use the cone, I'm going to use the line. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better. Go ahead, Matt.
Set up. If we can pull up the camera view that I have, we're going to look at I-49. This is away from where that cold front is, but this is the impacts of what it's causing. We're seeing snow and potentially some sleet along the I-49 corridor. This is what's on the backside of that cold front. So I know people to the east, if you're watching from along Highway 63, you're seeing the rain, you're seeing the thunderstorms. Here in Springfield, temperatures are quickly starting to decrease, and this is what's starting to move out of Kansas and into Missouri right now, right along the I-49 corridor. You can already see some accumulation of snow on grassy surfaces. So we still have that chance of snowfall for tonight. It's a very messy system. This pushing of this cold front along the nose of the cold front is stirring up those tornado chances. On the backside of it, we have freezing temperatures. We have moisture left over. That's an opportunity for some snow. So don't want to lose sight of that. There is just so much that's going on right now. And in the middle, we're getting wind gusts about 40 miles per hour that are quickly decreasing these temperatures. It is just one wild day of weather that's really occurring right now, Jamie.
Yeah, and you know, anytime you get these big swings in weather like this, a lot of times you're going to have to deal with severe weather. We've got that this afternoon. Going back over to our radar view, I've tracked that part of the line. Our radar data was getting a little backed up. Looks like we're back up to where we need to be. So this is Dent County that we're looking at right there. Here's Gladden. The worst of it is now moving through Gladden right now. And then downstream of that, this area that I have kind of highlighted, that is the storm track here over the next 30 minutes for this portion of the line. Each one of these shades is 10 minutes in time. So it looks like it's going to be making its way across eastern and southeastern Dent County over the next 20 minutes. So if you live across areas over toward Bunkers, between Gladden and Bunkers, north up to Viburnum, that area under the gun right now and for about the next 15 to 20 minutes for a possible tornado along with damaging winds and maybe some hail. Downstream of there, there is another area that we've been watching. It looks less suspect. That for this southern warning that we've got into western Shannon County. And the reason why I say it's less suspect is because the line is now oriented more southwest to northeast like this. So again, up here you have that little kink. You lose it once you get down into western Shannon County. So the winds upstairs, the wind energy sort of oriented parallel to this part of the line, makes it a lot tougher for that wind energy to really get in and organize that portion of the line, at least right now. So I think for me, looking at radar right now, this is probably the worst of it. Where we have the tornado warnings, this is going to be the worst of it. Right through here, where we have a focus for damaging winds and maybe a brief tornado. Although right now I'm not seeing, it's getting a long way from our radar site here in Springfield. I'm not seeing anything overly strong in terms of rotation. I do see a pretty good hail core though, and we'll clear that information out and take a look at hail. As Matt said earlier, it may be underestimating, but at least in this particular, we've got a couple different hail cores here. One south of Gladden, another one northeast of Summersville. This is probably, I would guess we're probably getting some quarter-size hail here, right along Highway 19 south of Gladden. This is tracking east-northeast. There's another little hail core here to the northeast of Summersville, maybe nickel size, possibly approaching quarter size there southeast of Hartshorn. So we have some pockets of hail as well that are occurring. And then outside of where we have the larger hail, there's been numerous reports of small hail with any of the stronger thunderstorms along the line this afternoon. Going back to just kind of broadly what's going on across the area, you can...
Thunderstorms really starting to pick up in West Plains. I'm not seeing anything tornadic at this time, but if you're watching from West Plains, it's really going to start to pick up heavy rain. You're going to hear the thunder. Even hail has been reported in Howe County as well.
And Matt, just checking the observation out of Pomona, just north of West Plains, gusts to 49 miles per hour. The temperature is now down to 50. That is not too far to the north. In fact, I would put that, let's say we can actually, El Dorado. Matt, ask about that, see where we're talking about.
Is, I want to talk about the polygon that just popped up. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning for really Howe County, Shannon County, and Oregon County. That comes with a tornado possible tag, so it's still what we're tracking, where nothing tornadic right now still has that potential for West Plains, for imminence, for Oregon County. So that is going to continue to develop, move off into the east. Solid hail core about to move into West Plains very soon.
And what I'm going to do, Matt, is you were talking about that warning that was coming out for areas like Oregon County. There is, in fact, we'll go ahead and put this together for folks. So that part of the line that is not tornado warned, you can see this comma shape. There's a little bit of that S shape that I was talking about, but certainly you can see that comma right there. That wind energy is coming in right there. And so we're getting probably some strong winds here south of West Plains. And I would watch also within this portion of the line that is surging northeast, I would watch for little circulations to show up. And at this time, as I go over to our wind data, it looks like there is, and this may be a little bit of an old image here that I'm looking at here. I'm just trying to kind of correlate this with other information that I've got in front of me. But This does look a little bit old, but just east of Moody here, it looks like, again, they're right there at that leading edge of that comma shape, strong winds, and maybe also evidence of a little bit of a circulation. So I bring that up because it's not technically tornado warned, but these severe thunderstorm warnings that are in that area do come with that tornado possible tag. It comes with a heightened alert for you if you're under that warning that, hey, yes, we're looking for strong winds, but can't rule out the possibility of a tornado trying to develop. That risk is even more heightened than just because there's a tornado watch. So that part of the line we're also watching very, very closely down across southern sections of Howell County. And you can see, again, that comma shape that is surging off to the east-northeast and will be getting into Oregon County. Tornado warned storms, though, continue. I believe these warnings run for at least, I think some of these yeah, I think these two warnings run till about 4:30, and it looks like most of the tornado risk has come to an end in those areas. I'm going to swap this back. Again, we're getting between radar views, so let's see if I can, let's see if this will work for me. This is looking out of the Springfield radar. Don't see anything too overly dramatic. Just, I would say, yeah, I don't see. That may be a little bit of a circulation there to the south of Salem, right there. Again, tracking toward the east-northeast. Other than that, I'm not seeing anything that's just really jumping out at me.
It is a good sign that the St. Louis office, on the other side of the county, they said, hey, we're just going to go with a severe thunderstorm with a tornado possible on this. So the St. Louis office is deciding not to continue that tornado warning once it gets out of Dent County. That kind of goes with the messaging that we've been saying. And this is starting to decrease. It's not as intense as what it was. Still tracking areas in Shannon County, Howell County, Oregon County, and of course Fulton County. I think those are the four counties in our viewing area that we are focused on, and of course the snow and cold temperatures that's barreling in after that. So it's a multiple daggered approach of this storm. Right now it's the tornadoes to the east, the cold that's coming in from the west.
Yeah, and here's Highway 63. East of there, you can see we have these tornado warned areas here in southeastern Texas County. If you're watching from these areas, that tornado risk has ended for your communities. Looks like the tornado risk, right now looking at radar, the tornado risk runs from easternmost Dent County down into north central areas of Shannon County, maybe as far south as just west of Eminence. This is really the threat area. And the one circulation that I've been able to kind of track here recently has been maybe for this part of the line right there to the very close to Bunkers or east-southeast of Salem. And you can see we just got a new update on this tornado warning. It looks like they're trimming out the western edge of it. And we're probably going to see, as we're sitting at 428, I think we're going to see these warnings. Man, if you could check on that for me, like the end time on those warnings, I would guess that they're just going to let these run out and then they'll be done. But it looks like the severe weather risk has come to an end for northwestern Shannon County and west central Shannon
Those
County.
two tornado warnings expire in 1 minute. It's the one that's in Dent County. That's up for 31 minutes, but surely that's going to change. They're not going to keep that up for the next 30 minutes.
No, because, yeah, and, these storms, this line of storms is moving pretty quickly, east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So that will take it out of Dent County and northern Shannon County. In fact, we'll go ahead and kind of track that out for you. That part of the line that's been tornado warned runs roughly through there. And this is the ground that it's going to cover. So it's moving into Bunker right now. Looks like it'll move into Oates or outside of Dent County by 4:42. So in under 15 minutes, I think we're going to see that line. By 4:45, I think we're going to see that line east of Dent County and east of northeastern Shannon County. So we'll probably see that warning get trimmed away at that point. But you're still under the gun, especially from Bunker down into northeastern Shannon County, north of Eminence, still under the gun for strong winds and maybe brief tornado touchdowns. We had some pretty dramatic video earlier of, this is out of the Willow Springs area, of a barn.
Can we try to show that video one more time? Yes. This is in Willow Springs. Look at the damage that's done to that barn, and the animals start to run out afterwards.
Yeah, and you can see not only that, there's a tree that's, there it goes, the tree. right there coming down in that video. But yeah, the roof of that barn, and you can see how the wind is catching that roof, and then it acts like a sail. And so it can be a little deceptive. I mean, winds don't have to be super strong to lift a roof off. It just has to catch it the right way. And it looks like it's catching it the right way to cause it to lift. And then once it lifts a little bit, now it's a sail. And it gets underneath there and it just blows that whole roof off. And all of the barn animals start running out. And again, it looks like most, if not all of them, made it out okay. And then you can see at the very end of that clip, a tree. In the distance, you can see a big tree coming down, maybe a big oak tree coming down because of the strength of those winds in that area. Tornado? We don't know. We know that it was very strong winds, damaging winds, winds that likely topped 60 miles per hour. Because you can see also the pines in that video, the pine trees really getting thrashed really good by those winds. And you can see the wind on the ground. Look at the leaves, look at the grass. Really getting hammered by those strong winds that are blowing across that area. So, you know, a lot of times we talk about in our area, oh, barn got damaged, outbuilding got damaged. And then you don't really know what that means or what that looks like. Well, that video right there tells you what that looks like. And I mean, that's significant damage because that barn now has to be replaced. Again, hopefully all of the animals made it out okay.
Jamie, I do want to mention we're showing that video of damage. That was in Willow Springs. That was sent to us by the fire department there. Also hearing reports of possible damage to the fire station in Somerville due to winds. So kind of this line of tornado-warned storms starting to wrap up where people are coming out of their shelters and getting reports of damages coming in right now.
You know, and Matt, we've been on this afternoon. We were live streaming earlier, and we were talking about this part of the line that was, at that point, it was still down near the Harrison area, moving into Marion County and then Baxter County. And it looks pretty mean. So far, I've not seen any reports out of it, but I would guess that it's probably produced some wind damage. And at times, there have been little circulations showing up. And again, that little comma shape right there, another comma shape right there. These are going to be your focal points for severe weather, whether it be damaging winds or a brief tornado touchdown or two. Those are the focal points. And this is what's tracking. Looks like this northern one is just about ready to move out of our area. It looks like for folks around Salem, tornado threat is over with for your area. Then south down towards Summersville, where Matt is reporting maybe a little bit of damage, wind damage to, you said the fire station?
The fire station in Somerville.
In Somerville. So in that area, looks like the tornado threat has ended in that area. And it looks like the tornado threat has also ended further south into West Plains. But if you're watching from Oregon County into southern Shannon County or southeastern Shannon County, right there along Highway 60, still under the gun for a risk of severe weather. That risk of severe weather also kind of extends down into eastern Fulton County. So maybe another, let's say by 5 o'clock, I think the risk will be over with even in those areas. And then really at that point, we're just dealing with lingering areas of rain, maybe some sleet mixing in with that rain. And you can see how fuzzy that green looks off to the west. This is snow being picked up by radar back along I-49 and into northeast Oklahoma and southeast Kansas. And Matt's been pulling up some different shots, different traffic cameras.
It was snowing pretty well up there, and that's what's on the back side of this is the cold that's going to start to invade from us. Also want to mention, Jamie, I'm hearing of reports in West Plains. West Plains was an area that just had a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warning issue with that, but also hearing of damages to the racetrack in West Plains, mostly because of the fast
So the
winds.
racetrack, if I remember right, the racetrack is southeast of West Plains. So it would be on the southeast side of West Plains.
And that makes sense because that's where the stronger part of that severe thunderstorm
Yeah, so
was.
we'll kind of zoom in on that. It looks again like the tornado threat's starting to exit Dent County, but we've got some severe weather concern coming out of Howell County now into western sections of Oregon County. And here's that comma shape. So here's West Plains. The racetrack, if I remember right, is located right about in here. And so you can see this little arc of reds and oranges. This bowing part of the line, that's indicative of strong winds coming in. In fact, you see how the reds and oranges quickly drop off to greens? This is what we call a rear inflow notch. This is strong wind energy coming into the backside of that line, and then it's descending down toward the surface. So we're probably getting severe wind gusts right here. And I think that that's why we've seen some damage where we have, maybe at the racetrack there southeast of West Plains. That's what's going into Oregon County right now. So for folks from, say, Rover east to Alton, you guys are going to be getting some strong winds and can't rule out the possibility of a brief tornado touchdown. I think Matt's actually looking at video out of downstream over there near Joplin.
I'm going to go get that pulled up because it's a good shot on downstream. I'm going to get that pulled up real quick, Jamie.
Yeah, so I was talking about this part of the line right here. Again, for folks that are watching, we still have technically a tornado warning up in Dent County and northeastern Shannon County. I think, to me, it looks like that tornado risk has now exited eastern Dent County. It looks like it's now east of Dent County. The tornado risk really kind of drops off once you get to this part of the line here east of Acres. And Matt wanted to go ahead and get that up for you. This is Joplin, or just west of Joplin at downstream right now. That is snow falling from the sky. Earlier today in Springfield, Missouri, it was 67 degrees just after 1 o'clock. That may be what's heading our way for the early evening hours. Looks like we've got this broad area of light snow showing up now in southeast Kansas, western Missouri, northeast Oklahoma. And that is going to wrap around a lot of the areas, especially I think along and north of Highway 60. That's going to hit a lot of those areas, I think, as we work into the evening hours with some snow. So what a dramatic turn of events over the course of not just today, but over the last several hours, as we've seen this very strong spring cold front sweep through the area. In addition to that snow, we're finding temperatures which are clearly tumbling. At 1:10 this afternoon in Springfield, we were at 67. I think now we're probably down to what, close to 40, I would guess?
I can look.
I would bet. I think we're probably down close to 40 degrees. You could check our observation unit here on the rooftop.
40 degrees in Springfield, and the last wind gust that we got was a wind gust of 36 miles per hour.
So 40 gust to 36. I mean, that's a raw winter day. Getting back to radar right now.
That change right there, you see that, Jamie? The change in Howell County. The National Weather Service upgraded that to considerable tornado possible tag, winds up to 70 miles per hour. So we've been hearing reports of damages. The reports at the racetrack was apparently metal was getting ripped off the building and thrown around. So National Weather Service has upgraded that to a severe thunderstorm with considerable tag on that, as it has been showing signs of damage.
And again, the tornado warned portion of the line is up in Dent County and northeastern Shannon County, but it looks like that tornado risk is now starting to exit those areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride that out. So Matt, keep an eye on that. We're going to ride that part out. Technically, we need to be on until that warning is cleared. But we're going to kind of focus in on this area. This is where I think we are going to find a risk of wind damage and also some damaging winds. What we're looking at right here, again, you can see that this comma shape. That comma shape is indicative of very strong winds. In fact, if I'm going to switch this over to velocity, this is kind of interesting because you can actually see when we switch it over to, you see that little circulation right there? That's actually behind the line. That is a circulation that's showing up higher up in the atmosphere as that line of storms is blowing out. We'll go back over to our radar view. What we're seeing is we're seeing strong wind energy come in through here, causing this part of the line to bow out, and it's generating an eddy right here. That what we call roughly it'd be a mid-level vortex. So that little portion of the line, we've got some rotation. Now that's not tornadic. If we see anything tornadic, it would be with this portion of the line right in here, moving into northwestern Oregon County. Nothing strong enough to warrant a tornado warning. But as Matt said earlier, we still have that tornado possible tag out for residents in Shannon County, southern Shannon County, as well as all of Oregon County, down into eastern sections of Fulton County. But the risk area is really going to be focused right in here. That is the risk area for damaging winds, and that is the risk area for maybe a brief spin-up tornado here in the short term as that tracks across Oregon County. We're sitting at 440. That should clear out of Oregon County and southern Shannon County and eastern Fulton County over the next half an hour to 45 minutes. I'm going to clear off that data. Let's go ahead and track that out. Matt, what was the forward speed on that? Is it still 45?
On that, I'll double check. I'm looking at the snow. I mean, I'm still mesmerized by. It seems like snow is maybe an hour away from Springfield if it continues on the current pace.
So for our friends over in Oregon County that are watching right now, southeastern Shannon County.
At 50, Jamie. That's at 50.
Okay, at 50. So in Thomasville, the line is moving in right now. I mean, it'll be there in under 5 minutes. In Alton, it looks like the line should be there in just under 10 minutes. So in Alton, residents in and around Alton, look for the skies to really darken here over the next several minutes. And then the heavy rain's going to come in along with strong winds, and they could be very strong. We could have some damaging wind gusts out of this part of the line as it continues to track east-northeast. I think further south across southern Oregon County, I think the threat for severe weather lessens as you get into southern Oregon County and then down into northern Sharp County and eastern Fulton County, but still looking at heavy rain and gusty winds, wind gusts of maybe 40 to 50 miles per hour. As far as hail potential, there's probably some hail. It doesn't look overly large. Right now, I would put that as we go to our hail product right there. It looks like we've got a little bit of a hail core east of Salem. There's also some hail showing up near and west of Alton. Most of that looks pretty small, but we could get some stones maybe up to, say, nickel size, especially with that hail core located just to the east and northeast of Salem. We have had lots of reports of small hail with the stronger storms this afternoon. Again, and I haven't checked on that warning to the north, but it does look like the severe weather threat has exited eastern Dent County. So for our friends up in Dent County, looks like the severe weather threat has the tornado threat, I should say.
Just as you said that, Jamie, canceled the tornado warning.
They went ahead and canceled that tornado warning. So the severe weather threat will be winding down very quickly over the next 30 to 45 minutes in areas where there is still a risk, from Shannon into Oregon, into eastern Fulton and Sharp. As far as our coverage, we're going to go ahead and switch back over to a live stream. So if you want to continue watching us, we're going to hop back online and follow this line on out as it moves through the rest of our area and then outside of our area. But in the short term right now, it looks like the tornado threat has diminished, and for now we continue back to regular programming.
This is an
Look at that. I'm one place and then I'm at another. We want to hop back on the live stream, kind of answer any questions you guys have, and we don't want to fully get out of here until that line of severe storms that just moved out of Howell County, that's still moving through Fulton County, Arkansas. Once that pushes out, we'll feel a little bit better on that. So, couple tornado warnings issued with that. Jamie Warner joining me back in studio. Jamie, get your camera pointed down. Right now it's pointed at the sky for you, but if anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask them. We'll try to answer them for you guys. Katie's saying the winds were very strong. Josh is asking, is any accumulation expected? I think for most locations, especially Springfield, light. We're looking a little bit more than a dusting.
We're looking at maybe, and I'll take my IFB out, swap over to headset, but looks like dusting at worst.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is dusting on what I need to do.
Can you get your camera? It's pointed at the
Still
ceiling.
weird. Thought I had it.
There
All right,
you go.
Come on. You got
There it
this.
is.
Okay. So I think maybe a dusting on like the leaves, maybe the rooftop. I think that's, you got to keep in mind. I mean, it's been warm. Ground temperatures are real warm right now. We had highs in the mid to upper 70s yesterday. It's been consistently warm for a while now. So I think a lot of that, we're going to see it. We're going to see it fall out of the sky, but most of it is going to melt.
Okay. Do you want to talk about radar view? What's happening? New tornado warning for just north of Little Rock. That doesn't look like it's going to come our way. We do want to.
That's for the Conway area.
The Conway area. Yep. Kind of that line of severe storms moving through Fulton County, Arkansas, about halfway through Dent County. I'd say once that kind of pushes, once we can give the all clear for Dent County, we can get the
I
all
think-
clear for everyone in our viewing area.
I think we can give the all clear in terms of the tornado risk for Dent County is over with. For Shannon County, I think there's still a lingering risk, and this is going to be for areas from, say, I'd put it at maybe between Birch Tree and Winona and east, up toward Eminence and east. Still lingering severe weather threat there. Looks like that line of severe storms is getting into Alton right now. So eastern Oregon County still looking at a severe weather threat for a bit longer. For residents in Fulton County, it looks like the tornado threat is just about over with for Fulton County. There's still a little sliver of eastern Fulton County that's still dealing with that risk of severe weather over the next 15 minutes or so, and then that's going to move across northern Sharp County.
Yeah, that went intense. It went from pretty much nothing to all these warnings at once. Leo's asking about mountain views safe from tornadoes. Yes.
Yes.
So I think most of our viewing area is going to be pretty good for that. It's
Yeah,
just
here we are. I mean, we're sitting at 4:45. We were talking about this is going to be a quick hitting round. I mean, it really it went from 1 o'clock, and I think 5 o'clock is going to be about the cutoff. So about a 4-hour window of severe weather potential. If you've got friends and family off to the east, it's a little bit scarier for southern Illinois, southeast Missouri, northeast Arkansas, maybe southwest Kentucky, western Tennessee. That appears to be more of like the focus, really, for severe weather as we go into the evening.
the snow is still so wild.
Yeah.
Snow's still working in for our western viewing area. If you're watching from along Highway 54, really along I-49, I think that's the area that's going to have the highest snow totals. Nothing looks heavy. Nothing looks drastic. It's just more wild, if anything, because the ground was at 60.
My vanity got the best of me.
The ground was at, 65 degrees at noon. Now we're trying to cool down. It's hard for a lot of this snow to stick. It's doing it some on grassy surfaces, but it's still wild that we had a tornado warning and snow occurring at the same time.
Yeah, it is wild, and that's one of those things you see in the springtime. Sometimes you get these systems that come through, and on the front end, it's crazy warm, and you get severe weather, and then on the back end of it, you get a quick round of snow, and that's what we saw today. I mean, today would be what we call like a dynamic weather day, just a huge swing in weather conditions from the beginning of the day now to the end of the day. Thankfully, though, because it's such a fast-moving system, that severe weather threat isn't really persisting very long in our area, and we're kind of we caught kind of the front end of this thing, so that the storms as they were moving through, they were really kind of organizing, and now that they have started to mature, the severe weather threat's probably a little more heightened for areas to our east. In fact, new tornado warning just coming in for the St. Louis area.
Okay.
That's for areas west of the Mississippi in St. Louis.
I want to say this. Getting reports of grapple, which grapple is kind of like baby hail.
Soft hail.
Yeah.
Snow pellets.
So it's moving in, getting reports of that in Battlefield, reports of that in Nixa, also getting reports of it snowing heavily in Bolivar. Temperatures are cooling down.
It looks like, just looking at radar, man. I mean, it looks like I would guess we may have some snow already into Ash Grove.
I'm gonna try
in northwestern Greene County. It hadn't quite made it to the airport, but looks like we may have some snow there in Ash Grove over toward Mount Vernon.
Katie's asking. She's been watching this live stream from start to finish. Is Howell County in the clear?
Howell County's in the clear.
Yes, you're in the
Tornado
clear.
threat is over.
So.
For Oregon County residents, areas east of Alton still under the gun.
Hail near Bass Pro. I wonder if they're mentioning kind of that grapple.
I think sometimes it gets. I don't think that is hail at Bass Pro.
Yeah.
It could be sleet pellets, or it could be snow pellets. And people are like, what's the difference? Well, sleet looks like and functions like very small hail. Snow pellets, that's like it. Like Matt said earlier, it's like a soft, small hailstone.
Okay, he said more like sleet. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's saying, hey, it looks a little bit more like sleet than hail, if anything. But man, I think we're gonna ride this out just a little bit longer until those storms fully push out of Dent County. But it has been it's been a short live stream. I think We've only been on it for a couple hours, but compared to some of the ones that we've been doing, Jamie, where we've done this for 12-hour live streams before, very quick, intense round of severe weather. Now we're just left with the cold. Temperatures tonight potentially getting to record lows. Wind chill at Monday morning is going to be around 0
the
degrees.
Graphic earlier. I was actually surprised that the record low was that high.
16.
Last week, I think it was on Wednesday, we had a record low on, I believe it was Wednesday, -3.
Okay.
So that's why I was surprised that 16 was cold enough to be a record low.
Yeah. It's cold. It's
Yeah,
16. And then also, here's kind of the forecast on the temperatures. We can look at how it's very quickly plummeted. We were at 67 at noon, and then here came the cold front. Goodbye. Everyone will get below freezing in just a couple hours from now. Temperatures on Monday morning could be as cold as the teens outside. So, drastic shift on that. Jamie, I do want to mention National Weather Service saying they are going to issue a tornado warning for northern Oregon County. So I'm glad we didn't fully hop off.
Okay.
That's about to come up very soon. So let's pull that up on.
Let's and maybe the best way for us to cover it is probably through the live stream.
Okay.
Just because I think by the time we get on TV, it's because of how fast this is moving. It's just going to be.
This is going to include southern Shannon County, parts of northern Oregon County as well. So
this would be, I would guess, from about Winona down to probably running down Highway 19 and east of Highway 19. And I gotta be honest. I think they're. Maybe I need to look and see what it looks like out of St. Louis before I pass judgment.
Let's go over to the velocity data on that. So expecting tornado warning to come out very soon. This is on the fringe of our viewing area. It is so messy because you are.
It is very messy. Looking even out of Memphis.
This is what we like to call a radar hole.
There may be something around Highway 19. This would be in northeasternmost Oregon County. That will quickly exit off to the east-northeast. But I think maybe they're kind of hopping on that. The line itself is it's already to Highway 19. The line is already through Alton. As far as like the core of it, the worst of the line is through Alton. And it kind of extends down to the south. Looks like that part of the line further south in eastern Fulton County is just about ready to move out of Fulton into Sharp. Just got a new scan in. Yeah, that line is fully on top of Highway 19 running north out of Alton up toward Winona.
Okay.
Still don't see the polygon yet for the warning.
No. It normally takes them a couple minutes to send it out. So,
but
northern Oregon County, parts of Shannon County, and then very quickly they're going to get into St. Louis's jurisdiction. So,
yeah.
Okay, they just issued it right there. That is a messy looking polygon. Let me switch it over to our in-house model for that.
In-house radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for folks that are, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look out of the Springfield office here. Just looking at this, a lot of this warning is already on the backside of the line. So Alton residents, you are under a tornado warning. It looks like the tornado threat, though, for Alton is now just east of Alton, east of Highway 19, running north up toward the Winona area. So I think what we may see is quickly that area west of Highway 19, running north-south down through the Alton area, that area get quickly trimmed out as that line continues to exit off to the east-northeast. What is it, at 45, 50?
Let me check on that. The movement on it.
Yeah.
Radar indicated it's going to be moving 55 miles per hour to the northeast. So very quickly barreling down, very quickly, eventually going to cross Highway 60. I think that's the area that we need to continue to.
Yeah, it looks like, it should be moving into like toward the Van Buren area, Doniphan down in Ripley County. It'll be moving into those counties, the western parts of those counties, within the next 15 minutes. So I think probably, again, the best way for us to handle this, just because it will take a little bit for us to get back on TV, is probably just let's do this live stream, and that way, I think we're probably reaching the most people that are going to be watching this.
So once again, if you are watching from Alton, if you're watching from Rover, Koshkanon, even Thayer, I'm not too concerned about a tornado for you. I think it's areas just south of Highway 60, south of Winona. That's where it seems like the stronger part of this rotation is. Very hard to tell on radar because we're at kind of the limits of the Springfield radar. We're at the limits of the St. Louis radar, kind of in a radar hole. So I think the National Weather Service is trying to get ahead of this. Dustin is saying just got an alert for a tornado warning in Birch Tree. Yes, this is kind of what we're looking at right here. Birch Tree is on the fringe of this area.
So yeah, again, so for folks that are watching around Birch Tree, the tornado threat is over for your area. That line is now moved. At least the leading edge of everything has now moved east. I mean, it should already be getting colder in Birch Tree. So I think the tornado threat is over in Birch Tree, and you're already kind of on that western edge of the tornado polygon anyway. And I think along and west of Highway 19, especially west of Highway 19, if you're watching from west of Alton up toward Rover, down toward Thayer, I think the tornado threat is over with for all of those communities. Yes, technically a tornado warning, but it looks like the tornado threat really has shifted east of your area. The tornado threat, though, is still there. I think it's southeastern Oregon County up into southeastern Shannon County. Where you see that line along and east of the most intense part of that line, that is roughly still where you have some tornado threat. Again, as Matt said, there are radar holes. There are areas not only here locally in our area, but across the nation where the radar coverage doesn't overlap very well, and it's hard to really sample what's going on. And sometimes you almost have to infer based on what you see from different radar products what might actually be going on. Maybe you're not able to really sample the winds at that distance from the radar site, but you can see on reflectivity, which is what we typically show you when we're talking about radar on air. Maybe you see these little nubs. Maybe you see these areas that may be heightened focal points for potential severe weather. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at that kind of heightened focal point there, moving across northeastern Oregon County and southeastern Shannon County, generally headed toward the Van Buren area. I think that's really the corridor right there from north of Alton toward Van Buren. That is the area. And St. Louis hasn't issued a warning yet, but we'll see. I'm not sure if that warning, that severe warning, has a tornado possible tag on it, but it probably does. That part of the line is going to be heading into areas along Highway 60 approaching Van Buren.
The warning on the other side of the county. So in Van Buren, Doniphan, there it is.
Yeah, new warning, new tornado warning.
So St. Louis is now confirming that. What's happening here is on the left side of that county line over in Oregon and Shannon County, that's the Springfield office. On the right side, that's the St. Louis office. And the two basically said, yep, we're agreeing that there's going to be a tornado that crosses across that. Mary is watching from Thayer, and she's saying tornado sirens are going off in Thayer. I do want to mention, it looks like the worst of what has happened has already passed in Thayer. So I'm not as concerned about Thayer. The worst of what it's going to be is what you just got about 5 minutes ago. It looks like this kind of line of storms has already moved past the Thayer area.
Man, I think we can safely say, just looking at radar, I'm trying to get this thing to update for me, but looking at radar right now, just based on where the line is, Thayer, if you're watching from Thayer, you're hearing tornado sirens, I can say that you guys are in the clear. The tornado threat for Thayer and Mammoth Springs is over with. That line is now east of your area. The tornado threat really right now is, it's hard to even get into, 11-point national wildlife river area. That's like along Highway 160 running east out of Alton. That's probably the area from there north up toward Van Buren, west maybe toward Winona. That's still the area that's a little bit under the gun. It's so far away from the radar sites, I can't really get a good feel for like where a circulation might be though. As Matt said earlier, it is very, very messy, and we're looking using the Springfield radar, St. Louis, Little Rock, Memphis. I'm going to try Memphis once again. See if that looks any better.
I do want to mention, I know Mary's watching from there, that a few minutes ago there was some type of rotation spotted from the police department in there. They're reporting that and kind of the chat I'm with them. So the worst of it has moved through in there. That's the positive side on that. We're still watching for areas as this crosses out of the county line. Isaiah's asking about West Plains. The worst of it has moved through West Plains. Not concerned about anything tornadic in West Plains. You're on the backside of that front. I imagine temperatures are a whole lot colder if you step outside. The winds are going to be gusting. Your chance to see a tornado in West Plains, that is what has already happened.
And Matt, I think we can, so where the tornado warning is in Shannon County and Oregon County, we can use Highway 19 as a divider.
Okay.
West of Highway 19, the tornado threat is over and done with. East of Highway 19, there is still some risk. But that's quickly moving into toward the Van Buren area and toward Donovan. So there's still, I think there's still a sliver of risk for areas on 60 east of Winona, south east of 19 into eastern Oregon County. I got another little surge maybe trying to develop here down near Highway 142, so there may be some risk down that way.
Yeah.
So easternmost Oregon County into southeastern Shannon County. But that threat is going to quickly shift toward Van Buren and Donovan.
Judy's asking about Willow Springs. The winds are very high here. The worst has also moved from Willow Springs. We're seeing damages that occurred earlier in a barn in Willow Springs. So not expecting anything like what you saw earlier today. Isaiah's asking, will it come back tonight? No. Cold temperatures are coming back in. I do want to mention, I don't want to lose too much sight of this tornado warning, but I do want to mention what's happening on the backside of this on satellite radar, because it is just wild how we're going from one extreme to the other. Zooming out, we have those tornado warnings on the fringe of our viewing area. Look at the snow that's starting to move in. Snow is getting close to Greene County. Snow is getting close to the Springfield area. Snow is really for areas north of I-44. So not concerned about tornadoes coming back. Temperatures are going to plummet below freezing. We're going to have some snow that moves in, especially if you're north of Highway 60, if you're north of I-44. That's kind of the next stage of this storm, is we're putting the tornado threat behind us and the cold weather moves in its place.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, let's see if I can get velocity back up. Let's do storm relative. I think that the tornado risk that we still had in southeastern Shannon County appears to be crossing the county line now. It's still west of Van Buren, but I think it's just about outside of southeastern Shannon County. I'm using the Paducah radar right now. I don't see anything really hopping out at me further south of Alton or southeast of Alton. But sometimes you get into a mode too where you've had circulations and you could see them, and then once the line gets too far east, maybe you don't see the circulations, but the ingredients are there. And so sometimes these tornado warnings, they kind of get issued based on like the history of the line and the expectation that what we've seen we're going to see more of along the line. And I think that that's some of what's going on in southeastern Shannon and eastern Oregon. But again, for our friends watching along and west of Highway 19 and southern Shannon, Oregon, down toward Thayer, your tornado threat is over and done with. That tornado warning is likely going to get trimmed out from the west, or the warning itself will get canceled.
Talking about looks like the tornado threat in those areas really starting to diminish. Here's the snow that's moving in. This is our downstream camera. This is kind of west of West Plains. Katie is wrapping it up. Yeah, we witness all types of weather in one day. Here's the snow that's starting to barrel in on the backside of that cold front. Fast winds. Winds have been gusting over 40 to 50 miles per hour. Temperatures very quickly decreasing. Jessica's wanting to know, is Koshkonong good? Yes, Koshkonong's good. The worst has already moved past Koshkonong. So I think everyone in Howell County, West Plains is good. Koshkonong's good. It looks like most of Dent County at this time too.
I mean, really, I think as far as tornado threat, I mean, it's Carter County, it's Ripley County, or Western Carter, Western Ripley, and easternmost Oregon County. That's the area that still has some tornado risk. And I mean, that's roughly where the tornado warnings are. But it looks like the tornado risk is quickly diminishing from the west across southern Shannon and across Oregon.
Kind words from Cindy. Very messy forecast. It's odd when you have to call for tornadoes and snow in the same day, but that's what's happening. Dylan's asking, are the roads going to get slick or freeze on the roads? I'm not too concerned about the impacts from the snow.
I think just kind of based on like how I've seen these things go in the past, Matt. It's sometimes it's really hard to get those road temperatures
to
cold
drop
enough,
that quickly.
fast enough to get what we call a flash freeze. So maybe we don't see that per se, but on like the highways. But I think those elevated surfaces, the bridges, the overpasses, you may want to be more careful. You may really want to slow it down when you hit those, because those we may find some slick spots, especially areas where some snow does come through. Because those exposed areas, the elevated areas, it's a lot easier for the temperature, the big change in temperature, to also cause a big change in road temperature right there. The other roads, that aren't elevated, those are probably going to be fine, I would guess. But if you're driving overnight tonight, bridges, overpasses, be careful. Walking into work tomorrow, can't rule out maybe a slick sidewalk, slick parking lot, a spot at least on a parking lot that you might need to be a little bit more cautious with as you're walking in.
Yeah. Want to keep on talking about that tornado warning. National Weather Service is changing the polygons on that. This is the view. Kind of what we're saying. If you're along Highway 19 to the west of Highway 19, things don't look tornadic for your area. So it's kind of that very fringe of our viewing area. And I would argue, I think that tornado threat has moved out of Shannon County at this time. It's really hard to tell because we're on the limits of what the radar can do. And it looks like both the Springfield and the Paducah, I'm switching them back and forth. Those radar sites are both agreeing that this threat has pushed out of Shannon County, just kind of a nub of thunderstorms existing in Dent County.
Matt, I think, and I'm looking at a Little Rock. I'm using the Storm Relative Velocity product there. It does looks like there is a circulation. It's in Carter County, though. I mean, it's now east of southeast Shannon. I can see a circulation just to the south of 60, southwest of Van Buren. So residents in western and southwestern Carter County, there's going to be some tornado potential. And there is a little bit of a hint of a circulation south of Highway 160 in southeasternmost Oregon County. This is a very rural area, and it looks like this is about to move into western Ripley County. It is west of Doniphan, south of Highway 160, very close to the county line of Oregon and Ripley County. If I had to measure this thing out, it looks like it's probably about, maybe about 15 miles to the east-southeast of Alton, or roughly maybe 2 or 3 miles to the south of Highway 160. And that's just about ready to move into Ripley.
Okay. That's the only area that we have that tornado warning. So we have the tornado warning in Shannon County, Dent County, Carter County, everywhere else along this line. I know people have been coming in, they're asking, what about where I live? What about where I live? Tornado threat is really ending as temperatures are starting to plummet. I want to talk about this decrease in temperatures because it has just been an absolute removal of the heat that we have experienced. We're chasing record lows for tonight. 16 is what we have to get to kind of take down that record. And we're already at 37 in Springfield, 41 in Branson, West Plains.
Yeah, and Matt, one of our viewers,
46 degrees.
One of our viewers was commenting on. He said officially some frozen precipitation up in Polk County.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that we may have some of that now getting into western Greene County, maybe near the Ash Grove area. At least, maybe some snow pellets or some sleet.
I wish we had our tower camera up because that way we could hunt around on it. Tower camera's been down for us, unfortunately.
I wonder if we could see anything on the Monette traffic camera.
Let me. Oh, yeah, we can get traffic cameras. Here, let me switch the view when I start working on that. Where do you want me to hunt at, Jamie? You said Monette?
Let's try Monette. Yeah, anywhere along the interstate there, we should have pretty good coverage of traffic cameras, maybe from Mount Vernon west.
It's cold and gross, and I'm staying inside.
Man, I second that. It is gross. It's ridiculous. Thought we were done with this. I actually didn't think we were done with this, but we were hoping that we were done. We were hoping we were done with it. We have a guy in the newsroom. We'll go ahead and say his name, Shane, one of our producers, and he's like March 12th. Hammer's coming down on March 12th. It's going to get cold. You know what, Shane?
He's pretty close.
Not very far off, because he was saying that maybe a week and a half or so out. And he's like, March 12th, I feel it.
I think he was saying that in February.
Late February. I got a bad feeling.
He's telling me when I get it right, you guys can make me a honorary meteorologists.
Now, Matt, in our defense, we were saying the same thing. So it's like I don't know how much he was like listening to us or if it was his own opinion, but he did vocalize it.
El Dorado Springs. I have no clue what we're looking at. I think that's rain. There may be some. It looks like there's some snow.
El Dorado Springs, that should be in the snow.
It should
That
be.
is snow. I think I saw yep, that's snow, Matt.
That
got
is
snow
snow?
in El Dorado Springs. Yep. Yep.
So that's what we're seeing right now over in El Dorado Springs. I was trying to look at the camera over in Monette, and of course that one didn't want to pull up for me, but we'll go to I-44. Come on. Come on. Nope. Not going to load either. But yeah, the transition from tornadoes, sirens have been going off to snow it doesn't happen all too often. This is that look on I-44, Western Greene County. This looks like rain at this time. So temperatures are getting close. Are you seeing snow in this one too? I don't see it.
I don't see it yet either.
So I don't think we have fully switched to snow in Greene County yet. If people are watching, let us know for what's happening.
And Matt,
Snow pellets. Cross, if you can tell me where that's at. Snow pellets have transitioned to snow. I also want to get back to
we still
tornado.
we still have limited tornado risk still in southeastern Oregon County. There is a circulation that I can see. It is south of Billmore. Oddly enough, ironically enough, the circulation is very close to a community called Calm. This is in southeastern Oregon County. Looks like that circulation has made its way across Calm. Should be approaching Gatewood, which is in western Ripley County. That circulation looks to be pretty close to Highway 142, again, near the community of Calm. And it is tracking east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. I would guess that we're probably getting at least some strong winds. Could be a tornado with that. And that circulation is now, again, making its way across the very southeasternmost corner of Oregon County and into western Ripley. For our friends in southeastern Shannon County, including Winona, the tornado threat is over with.
yes.
For areas further south down Highway 19 into Alton, the tornado threat is over with. For areas further south, across south central Oregon County, just trying to get some communities, Corona, Couch, Garfield. These are all communities that are no longer under the risk of a tornado. Tornado warning officially still in effect, but again, we can we can give you the all clear.
If you're watching from our entire viewing area, the only place that we are concerned about a tornado is right in this tiny box. If you're watching from anywhere else, if you're watching from Howe County, Shannon County, Oregon County, Dent County, if you're not in that very tiny corner of Oregon County, tornado threat has ended for you. You're on the backside of this cold front. Katie's asking, will this head into Jonesboro? And this eventually...
Not that part of the line, but the line does extend south into Arkansas, and that will sweep across Jonesboro.
This cold front's going to sweep through most of the United States, and that is along that front going to be chances for storms. Tomorrow's actually looking like a higher chance for storms, not for us. Not for us.
Yeah, they got a moderate risk area up and down the East Coast.
I do want to talk about how this is going to push.
And again, for folks that are watching from southeastern Oregon County, calm down to Griswold, that's UU Highway. Along that area, there's a tornado risk right there, low, but there's a tornado risk right there that is moving across that part of southeastern Oregon County from Calm down to Griswold. And that will be making its way into western Ripley County. Should approach areas like Gatewood and Tucker from the west-southwest. So there's still a sliver of southeastern Oregon County that has some tornado risk, and then that will move into Ripley County.
Kiddos watching from Winona wants to know about the tornado risk there. That has moved out of your area. If you're still watching, kiddo, let us know if you saw any hail. We haven't heard of anyone in the Winona area, so I'm curious if you got any hail with that system that just moved out. Now it's on top of Van Buren, so if there was to be a tornado, still along Highway 60, but east of Winona, east of Birch Tree, closer to Van Buren, and also this tornado warning system really starting to move out of kind of the polygons into our viewing area.
Yeah. Let's see what that warning ran through until 5:30. So we're at 5:14. I think they're going to have to, I believe,
They're going to cancel that.
clear
very
that
soon.
warning before its technical end time. So it doesn't matter. I mean, again, if you're watching, you're listening, Winona down to Alton, tornado threat is over with for your communities. There's really only just a sliver of southeastern Oregon County, and that is for areas really from Calm down to Griswold. It looks like even that part of the line is now crossing the county line into southwestern Ripley County. So the tornado threat should very quickly end, even in Oregon County. For residents further south that aren't on a tornado warning, but down toward, for folks that are watching out of Sharp County, it looks like the severe weather threat is quickly moving east of Sharp County as well. Still some lingering showers, though, back across southern Howell, Fulton. Folks here along Highway 63, there's still some showers, but nothing severe. And it looks like for folks that are watching us on TV, have been watching us on or watch us on TV, it looks like the severe weather threat is just about over with the exception of again the southeast corner of Oregon.
Jamie, I got this on satellite radar. I want to talk about this. We have a tornado warning in Texas, a tornado warning in Arkansas, in Missouri. You just look at this powerful cold front that's sweeping across. Snow is still on the backside of that. So this system, to kind of show that line, I want to show our portion of pushing that line through has concluded for our area. Snow is on the back end. Fast winds are still going to be on the back end. Temperatures in Springfield, last I saw, just a handful of degrees above freezing. It won't be long until we get below 32. 37 in Springfield, 32 in Joplin, 34 in Clinton. West Plains already down to 46. So,
and it looks like, you got a little band of snow from Clinton, Missouri down into Miami, Oklahoma. Looks like some light to moderate snow, and that's going to kind of pivot northeast, and especially areas near and north of Highway 60 are going to catch some of that as it shifts east-northeast across the area this evening.
I mean, this is a day to remember, of dropping temperatures. Yeah. I think we dropped 20 degrees in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we're now at a 30-degree drop on temperatures right now, and that's been about in 3 hours that we've had that massive drop.
Are we at 36?
We're at 37.
37.
So that's about a 30-degree drop in, 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
So seeing pictures of snow also as well. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of snow. I think kids probably have to go to school tomorrow unless superintendents are wanting that Monday off. It doesn't look like it's going to be too impactful on the roads. The road temperatures have just been so warm because we hit 70 yesterday. We're at 60 degrees earlier today. It's hard to really cool down that asphalt. It likes to trap heat a little bit better, and MoDOT tends to stay on top of that. So I'm not as concerned about road conditions. There may be a few slick spots out there, but just the transition from one extreme to another, that's what we're experiencing right now, Jamie.
I know in the tornado warning, they have since trimmed it further. There's still a sliver of that tornado warning for Oregon County in easternmost Oregon County. This is roughly from, this is you want to talk about rural part of Missouri. This is about as rural as it gets in like eastern and northeastern Oregon. Beautiful country. It's amazing like how untouched it is. But yeah, so this would be from Wilderness south down through Calm and Griswold. There's still a tornado warning, and honestly, it looks like that line, the potentially tornadic part of that line is now into western Ripley County. So I think the tornado threat is over with for eastern Oregon County, but they may let it ride. I think it ran till 5:30. They may let it ride all the way to 5:30 before clearing it out.
Yeah, and it's at the fringe of the viewing area. It's hard to get good, accurate radar data on this because by the time the radar is reaching, it's not getting at the surface. It's getting
higher up in the
a couple
storm.
thousand feet off the ground. So that's why they're continuing to ride this out. But I would say the tornado threat has really concluded for most of our viewing area. Temperatures are getting cooler. Winds are still fast. I do want to take some look more at tower cameras or just cameras into the viewing area.
I really feel like, we probably
Ray's
have
is saying
something.
Monette is getting snow.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, looking at radar, I think that we probably have some of that trying to sneak into maybe the Willard area. I mean, it's not too far away from Springfield. I think we may have some of it into Monette, Aurora, Marionville. I mean, these are all places that may have some snow pellets right now.
I'm going to go back to my I-44 camera. We looked at this, I don't know, what, 10 minutes ago, Jamie? I-44, mile marker 70. So this is west of Springfield. That still looks, I don't know, that looks like rain. I don't think that's frozen.
It's funny, though, like some of that, when it hits the lens of that camera, it looks like it's sticking and melting. So I'm wondering if we do have snow. In fact, trying to catch some of it, like is it moving in front of like the darker spots?
Let me get a different camera. So that was Greene County. We're going to go see if I can get this Mount Vernon camera to work. Yeah, if you guys are seeing snow, let us know. Grace was telling us she's getting snow in Monette right now. I'm trying to pull up the cameras and show that view off. But here we go. This is over in Mount Vernon. Looks pretty similar. To me, this looks like a cold rain.
I mean, there's definitely water drops on the lens of the camera, but like I know when we were watching out of Monette, it looked like it was hitting the lens and it looked like it was melting. At any rate, it looks pretty miserable.
To give an update on this, the Springfield National Weather Service has canceled that tornado warning, so there's no tornado warnings into any part of our viewing area. I know the tornado watch goes to 8 p.m. I imagine they're going to start trimming out all the counties from that as well. So tornado threat has concluded for us. Congratulations. We got through that one. Just the cold and the fast winds and the snow.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Matt,
that's what's left.
There were a few reports of not only hail, but we had that one great piece of video out of Willow Springs, near Willow Springs, of the barn where the roof was lifted off by the wind.
Yes.
So I think that out of this, I mean, while not a lot of severe weather reported, I think there'll be some pockets of wind damage that's reported out of this line.
With that, tornado warning wrapping up. Jamie, you want to give kind of any concluding thoughts before we get on out of here? Because I think that tornado threat, that's the best way that I can sum it up. Tornado threat has ended for us.
Yeah.
Still have the gusty winds, temperatures decreasing, and some snow chances on the back half of all that.
Yeah, and tomorrow morning's and you know, I said it earlier. If you've got anything that you put outside because it was nice and warm, and I'm talking about plants. If you got any plants that you put outside because it was nice and warm, make sure you bring them back. You can't wait till later tonight because it'll get too cold. Do it now. Bring those plants back inside into your garage or at least a warmer place somewhere. This isn't one of those where you can just like leave it out on the porch and it'll be fine, because even on the porch, temperatures are going to get way below freezing. We're talking about morning lows in the upper teens Monday morning, a long period of below freezing temperatures. That will kill anything that is cold sensitive. So bring those plants inside and be ready to dress like it's February tomorrow.
Don't we love it? Cold for Monday, warm back up on Tuesday, feels like spring on Wednesday. That's your forecast. Thanks for following us. Of course, we're going to provide you guys with more updates. We'll be live at 9 on KOZO. We'll be live at 10. Actually, I think a little bit later. We're going to be, they got an award show tonight. But we'll be live on Color 10 with news, weather, sports, everything you want. Thanks for watching, guys.